Papa te whatitiri hiko te uira I kanapu ki te rangi te petū ki raro rā. Ko whakaata Maori tēnei e ngunguru atu nei, e rāhiri atu nei kia koutou katoa e te si, e te tā, e ngā mātā waka huri noa I te ao nau mai. Raro, whakatau mai ki tēnei kaupapa, tēnei hōtaka nui whakaharahara motu hake ake, a whakaata Maori me Let's Play Live, NBA 2K18. Mo te ruanga o te haora e haere ake nei, ka whakapāho arorangi atu mātou ki runga o whakaata Maori, taro ake raro kauiho, ka haere tonu ngā mahi ki runga I tā mātou whārangi ipurangi www.maoritelevision.com. Hoi anō e te iwi, tēnā koutou, kia ora, ko Orini Kaipara ahau, no ngai tūhoi, ngā tiawa, ngā titu wharetoa, nōku te mari ki te noho ki ēnei mātanga, aku hoa tātaki I tēnei kaupapa whakaharahara ko Duan Mutu, rāua ko King Kapisi. Tēnā kōrua.
Yeah, kia ora, kia ora.
Kia ora. How are you guys feeling? Are you excited as excited as I am about this kaupapa?
Oh, look, I couldn't sleep last night. I was so excited, right? So the thing with me was, it's the best players of 2K in the country. First time we're on Maori television. So for me, I can't wait to get this underway.
Awesome.
I'm looking so forward to this. Actually, I'm really hyped now. I'm so hyped. It's not funny. Excited for these games. And it's going to be something incredible for you guys to watch. Big shout out to Maori television.
Ka pai. Tēnā kōrua. Hoi anō e te iwi. Ūtonu mai, I te mea kia mōhio ai tātou. Heaha te aha e pāna ki tēnei kaupapa. Me titiro atu tātou ki ngā whakamahuki.
Ka I te rapu a te tangata toa o Aotearoa mō te whakataetai NBA 2K18 e te kamupene LPL me whakaata Māori. Toko maha atu ngā tāngata I whakauru I te whakataetai nei. Nā te kauma ono anake ngā kaitākaro I kitea. Toko waru no te ika Māui, toko waru no te waipaunamu. Ia wiki toko whā ngā kaitākaro ka whakataetai ngā kēmu e toru ki tāmaki makaurau. Ka waimari e te tangata katoa, ka aroha hoki te tangata ka reitoa. Ka pakanga ngā kaitākaro whakamutunga I ngā kēmu e rima. Hei te toru te kau o Mahuru. Te NBA 2K18 o Aotearoa, he whakataetai mutunga mai.
Hara mai tētahi āhua, Duan. Tell us, how does this tournament actually work?
Well, we had hundreds enter the tournament, right? So there's, I think, over 350 NBA 2K18 aspirants, we'll call them, and now we're down to the 16. So we've got two different divisions. So we've just seen there, you've got 8 that will come from the North Island, and we'll kick that off shortly with the 4 of them in that division. And then there was 8 from the South Island, and it's all sudden death. So they play best of 3, you win, you progress. If not, you're out of there. Simple as that.
What about those prizes, though? That's a huge prize, 15,000, is that right?
$15,000 in cash and prizes for the winner. But of course, for them, most of these players here, it's about the honour, the glory. They want to walk away as the champion of the tournament for the NBA 2K18 numero uno.
What do you reckon?
Well, being able to also be able to go watch an NBA game would be probably, you know, the biggest thing for me as a hooper, as a basketball, and obviously as players, for them to be able to go to LA and watch a game would be great.
A dream come true.
Dream come true.
Te iwi, tēnā kia titiro atu tātou ki te rārangi o ngā kai whakataetai I tēnei tōna mana nui. Nō reira, ko te tuatahi, ko te ika a Maui, the North Island Elites.
As always, we'll see Shakor, Paki up against Tyceno. That's 1 versus 8 in the first matchup of the day, followed by Breakaway, Airborn up against stonecoldkiller. And then we'll drop down to the bottom part of the bracket. Later on in the weeks to come, Notorious Sky will take on Tetsu, and Zernik will take on Cure. And that is the 8 for the North Island bracket.
Ka pai, kia huri atu tātou I naia nei ki te rārangi tuarua a rā ko te Waipounamu, South Island Elites.
And in the South Island, you'll see Riz take on Henny King Steve. That's the 1 versus 8 matchup. So look out for that one. First one will kick off next week. I Am Hutch will take on Mini Slug. And JD Hendo will be matched up down the bottom into week number 4. And Ghetto Clownfish will take on Tropic_Superstar. And that is the 8 for the South Island bracket.
Wow, some pretty big names in there, eh? Can you tell us a bit about, you know, who we should be looking out for, really?
Yeah, so for people that are new or jumping into, I guess, NBA 2K today, first time on Maori television, look, the first matchup's fantastic for them. And it wasn't, I guess, you know, preconceived. This is the #1 seed in the form of Paki. Now, he is last year's champion up against number 8, Tyceno. But those two were last year's finalists. Tyceno, 150,000 followers in 2K, so you're in for a treat straight away. And then you look on the other side, we saw again, you know, the number 1 seed over in the South Island. Look out for him as well because he's very, very good. So for hardcore fans of the game, these are the elite players in the country and they're here in LPL.
Right. Hoi anō kia tūtaki atu tātou ki ngā kaiwhakataitai tuatahi o tēnei tōnamana ara kia Tyceno, rāua ko Paki. And there he is.
There he is, the
the man of the hour.
Up against, you see there, Shakor himself, head-to-head, 1 versus 8. Now the seeds don't do it justice when they go head-to-head. This is going to be brutal from the get-go. People have waited a lot of weeks to see these two, and they don't have to wait far because they're about to get into it.
Yeah, that's something interesting as well. Don't you agree, King Kapisi, is, you know, most gamers, you don't actually see them in the flesh.
The main thing is, like, I've said to the boys that they, you know, they're on national TV. It's a big difference when you're on, the live, national TV.
Yeah.
So really looking forward to how they play and watching their gameplay would be incredible and how they're going to perform.
Yeah, how do you think that will affect, their nerves or the feelings in terms of playing, knowing that they're on live television?
Aye.
Well, that's it. I mean, one of the things is about actually handling it, right? So what we see a lot when you come into these types of tournaments, it's those, like any other sport, can they handle the intensity? Can they handle the pressure? I mean, we're on a big stage here. It's Maori television, first time up, and they've got to be able to deliver. They know that's going on through their minds, so that's who can handle the heat right now.
Ka pai, tēnā kia tahuri atu tātou ki te tūtaki ki te kaitakaru tuatahi mo tēnei rā.
Tyceno, you come in today as the 8th seed. How do you feel coming in as the underdog?
I feel super confident coming in as the underdog. I'm happy to be the 8th seed, and I like the pressure on me, so it's going to be a good time. I'm excited.
All right, well, also coming in today, it's a rematch of last year's grand final. Have you prepared specifically for this match in any way?
Well, I feel like I already have a good idea of how Shakor Paki likes to play, so I feel like the grand final was a good experience for me, and it'll give me a good shot of redemption today.
And speaking on the competition as a whole, is there anyone else that you're worried about more than him?
Nah, man, this is the guy to beat.
All right, well, best of luck for the first match.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Tyceno there, Dwan, he said earlier he likes the pressure. Does he perform well under pressure?
Well, look, I mean, going on last year's performance, he came in as the champion, and he couldn't get it done, right? So he did feel those nerves. But when you look at it overall and you look at generally the skill set that he has, we're talking about a man who everyone wants to tune into, 150,000 followers for a reason, right? So, yes, I think he'll be fine here. I mean, like he said there, I think he's confident in his abilities, and he should be. But again, he shouldn't be the 8th seed, so he'll put it to Paki today.
True that.
All right, well, tēnā kia tūtaki atu tātou ki tāna hoariri, ara ko Paki.
Paki, you're coming in today as the number 1 seed, almost a favorite of the tournament as well. Do you feel you have any more added pressure?
Well, my confidence is at a pretty high level at the moment. Tyceno, I know how he plays. I've learned a lot of him, and so I'm just really excited for the be here, to be honest.
And speaking of Tyceno, it's a rematch of the grand final. Are you feeling any added pressure, and have you prepared specifically for this match?
Oh man, he was the last person I played, and well, his gameplay I kind of adapted into mine, and I got to learn everything he did. So pretty much I got a lot more skills to have on my side.
And Tyceno says that you're the man to beat in this competition. Do you think it's the same thing for him?
Oh man, if anyone can beat me, I'll be surprised with that one.
All right, well, best of luck for game number 1.
Thank you.
The confidence coming from the corner of Te Shakor Paki. What do you make of that, Dwan?
Current champion. He's the current champion.
He's the current champion, right?
champion.
And
He owns the bragging rights, right?
He owns the
Big up
bragging
to
rights. He's the number 1 seed in the tournament. Why wouldn't you be confident?
Why wouldn't you, bro? I mean, like, I think that if you're going to be number 1, you might as well go out and just say that you're number 1 and you're going to rock it and kill everyone. Why not?
Absolutely, and that's the thing, right? So, Shakor, Tyceno, what a matchup. I guess, it could go either way, in my opinion. I can't wait.
Yeah, that's right. Wow, tēnā kia huri atu tātou ki te āta te tiro ko wainga kapa kua kōwhiria e te tokorua. Let's take a look at the rosters, shall we? Team rosters. Well, first of all, let's take a look at these guys. This is live right now.
Here we go. So as we jump on into the game for everyone at home, across the mutu, we're going to see Tyceno on the left there, and he has picked up the second team, Tyceno will play, because he missed the coin toss for everyone at home, he'll play as the Golden State Warriors. We see him line up with a familiar team of Steph Curry, Kevin Durant and co. And then we'll see Shakor Paki with the man himself, the king, LeBron James, and the Cleveland Cavaliers, as he nods and says, yes, let's get it on. It's match number 1 here.
Let's go, ready to rumble.
In the LPL tournament. And there's tip-off
Let's
as we see Iguodala to Curry as we get into this one. We're interesting because we'll see what sort of set they get into. And you can see already the tension across both the players. A nice little stare from Hill.
Steal.
All he needs to do is just have a little drop off there, and he pulls up for a nice...
Grant Hill with a nice little basket there.
Nice little shot there as he pulls up for a nice pull up. Now again, take that to the bucket. So, you know, 2 points goes to Cleveland, and of course to our man Paki to get this one underway. So let's see what we see. Curry trying to dance across, pulls up deep, even from
Very
Curry.
deep.
Nice rebound by Thompson. We look for the outlet here. James, nice movement though by Cleveland. Nice little dance here from Hill. Good start, nice little cut, and bang!
Throwing it down. Hey, big up Tristan Thompson. Nice little dunk there.
Nice movement as we see Curry on the break. A little bit of movement. They're just not getting the inbounds at the moment. And we see Hill, he's already had 2 steals and he pulls up again.
Once again.
6-0. Now look.
6-0. Very 6-0.
So if I come to you, Caps, and we look at this one, obviously for everyone at home, these are 3-minute quarters. Nice little dance as Curry gets to the cup. 3-minute quarters, right? So we're playing best of 3 just to let everyone know at home.
All right, that's the only thing we need to know.
And then also for people at home who are new to basketball, when you see the counting down the bottom there, what is that clock there?
The little black box down there, we have 24 seconds for the player to be able to shoot the ball. So that's the main thing, that little black box down on your right there.
As we see Love with a deep 3, he's getting grooving. Now Cleveland are in rhythm right now. I mean, this is a feel-out game, right? So at the moment, remember, it's best of 3, and so they're just going to have a nice little oop, and it's just a bit deep as he misses that one. Coming back through. But so that's the thing, Caps, is we look at the feeling out of the 2 players. Now, they can't play the 2 teams. Bang! Oh, as KD jumps through the lane with a heavy tomahawk.
Beautiful tomahawk there out there, brother.
And you see here when they're picking up the isolation page with the plays here. So he wants it an ISO kick out deep as we see Hill. He's had a nice start, and that's a
Hill's
deep 3.
on fire.
12-4.
Brother.
Now, look, if you are Golden State, oh, KD, he's just... Hey, look, if you're KD right now and you say to yourself, look, I'm going to take it on my own shoulders.
MVP for last year, MVP.
And you can see the bottom symbol here, so we know there's a little bit of fire going on with Cleveland. Dances with James to pull up, can't get it done. So what do you have to do to get back in if you're Golden State? So what are they looking to do here if you are if you are Tyceno right now? You're down 6-12, 35 seconds. It is first quarter. Green beams, baby, as he hits up for a deep fall-away 3, and Curry gets it. The pulls back with him.
For me, brother, would be shot selection and movement of the ball, being able to move the ball. They're moving it a bit more now, so Golden State Warriors are obviously coming up. Now it's 9-12 to Cleveland.
The nice little foul there, just to slow down possession. That's better. You can't let, if you are Golden State, you can't let them do this and get through. And then we see there a little bit better on defense, tightens it up as KD pulls up from late and deep. Can't get it done on this one. And we've got 18 seconds. No stop clock on at the moment, so what can they do? They want one possession here, Caps. They don't want to force a shot here. They're up by 3. They want to just take a good shot if you're Cleveland.
Yeah, the spacing is good right there. Moving the ball, but once again lost the ball there.
As we see KD, who's been on fire deep, and they'll try to get a shot. Green beams, he's got
Curry.
that in the corner. He'll tie it up as we come in.
Tied up.
And we see the boys here nodding their heads. And he knows. Look, you see, again, Shakor Paki over on the side. He knew he had him. He had him on the ropes, but that there is why Tyceno is so very, very good.
This is such a good matchup. I'm very, very nice to see the skill level of these guys that, playing at the highest level here in Aotearoa. So that's a beautiful thing to be able to watch them play and actually do their thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What do you guys make of that first quarter? Obviously, it's the first one, warm up, but how well did they play?
Yeah, very good point. I mean, that's the thing we just saw there in the first quarter. It is the very first match in the tournament, 2 very good players, and they want to feel out what each are doing because you've got to see what they're doing on offense and on defense to get a feel. Look, it's quarter number 1, right? So we'll see it. Adjustment was made, I think, by Golden State. It was too easy on the inbounds and letting them run the court, and so now I think it's going to be a far closer battle as we go on to the rest of the match.
You're back to LeBron with the ball, back to
Hood with the deep one.
Deep 3, but missed.
And this is interesting. So, you've got your subbers coming in the form of Hood, deep 3 balls, and you've got Corver, who likes to shoot the 3. And then it just changed. I mean, what we'll see probably a little bit more, we saw Hill always starts early for the Cavs. He gets the offense running, and James plays more of, I guess, on a, as we see a foul there, as a cutting through with a foul. And we put Draymond Green to the line, averaging 10.2 for the season, 41.8. Not the best free throw shooter overall, but again, solid enough as we see him miss that one. And Hood with the quick outlet, as we see again, too easy on transition if you're Cleveland Cavaliers. A rebound by Thompson. And Cap, so they're going a little bit. If you're Cleveland right now, they're getting a lot of easy transition buckets, and then you're seeing Golden State getting easy looks at the three. So what adjustments need to be made?
Yeah, I think the main thing for me is like being able to finish the basket. Actually, you know, nice movement of the ball. Clarkson
off the glass, can't get it
done.
done.
Kevin.
As we see a deep three, that's green, and you know that's going in when you see the green beams at home.
Nice. That
means that's pretty much as pure as you're going to get it, and that's what they call splash, baby. As we see Curry trying to respond, he can't get it done. Nice for Love. As we see him kick out to Clarkson, try to control this a little bit more. But again, you're seeing them overload one side if you're Golden State, and then they're just dropping it in. It's too easy in the middle for Cleveland right now. They're getting their way, and they're allowed to play too easily.
Yeah, nice rebound there from Corver. I mean, like, we should be getting it, moving the ball to, would expect Corver to be shooting it. So Clarkson just took a shot.
See 15-12 with 1:30 to play in the best of three matchup. This is match number one if you just joined us here in the Let's Play. As Iguodala pulls up for the deep, and that's 15 all as we're heading into 1:24 with 20 seconds on the shot clock. Clarkson with a nice sort of drive, kick out, and that's perfect offense, and that should go for Hood. And you see how he committed the two players.
Yes.
He drove and he penetrated. But again, if you're Golden State, they're actually overloading too much and letting them get there, and there's too many easy looks.
I agree there, my friend.
Curry dances.
Left.
And the roll, and that's what he does. Let's see him have a little dancey dance as Curry. You know this is mechanical for Curry as he makes it 18 all. Now,
it's close game, my brother. Close game.
Very, very good feel-out game as we see a quick steal here, and Curry pulls up and he hits that one.
Oh!
And now we've got the momentum changes, right? So now all of a sudden, if you're Cleveland, you've had all your way, and now what you've got to do is you've got to take patience. See here, they're doubling at the top here and leaving Hood. And what they're trying to do is get it out of the possession of Clarkson. Oh, and he got that. There we go. 21. Oh, I love this game.
It's a good game.
How tight is it? And this just feels, you can just see them. They're laughing at the top there. You can see Tyceno. No, he's in this one. All right, so we see Curry having a dance at the top with Clarkson. Here we go with the pick. And he's going to pulls back on that, looking for the wrap and roll. Can't get it. Just see Curry. He's been hot, and he's going for another one. As we see Love pull this one down with 21 all in the final. And we see
James.
Too easy. Too easy. When you're the best in the world, and look at him dance, Magic, dance, flex your body, baby, flex your body. So it makes this one too easy, and then they pull it back. So here we go, 20 seconds left on the clock as we see this one. Now remember, there's no shot clock left now because they've got really one possession. So you might see a timeout to run a play, or they're going to play it out. We'll see how we go. A shot, that's mechanical from Thompson down low. You've got to get a hand up there.
24, my brother.
Here we go, quick play there, 6 seconds, 5, 4 into the corner. So we've got to really decide what we're going to do, and they've got to get a shot off Love and isolation. Poor shot selection and pass as we wrap to halftime. 24 all, Golden State. 24.
Good game. Very, very excited.
As we see them just have a little bit of a breather here, have a little chat. I mean, they're probably very happy, Caps, if you think about the fact that there's been a bit of motion. We see that in normal basketball, and you also see that today. You know, someone will make a run, someone will respond, and it's just going to be, I think, like we said at the top, we're talking about very, very good. As we look at the stats here, 24 all, 64% from the Warriors, 56 from Cleveland, but they're getting a lot easier, but it's the rebounds. It's the second chance points that Cleveland are getting.
The Warriors are getting outdone by the rebound, you know, like quite a lot.
And we can't go past the fact that we've got 13 points from Curry. He is hot right now.
These guys look like they're having a fun time. That's the main thing.
That's it. I mean, you know, there's that kind of, we're having a good time, but they know what's at stake right now. I mean, you know, the reality is for them both is neither of these two want to be going home week number one, particularly match number one in the tournament. So whilst there's this kind of camaraderie, this banter going on, you can see it now, right? Locked in, feeling the pressure both ways.
I've got to say the singlets are looking pretty flash on the boys.
Hey, good point. Looking flash. They're wearing the North with the pinstripe is what they're wearing. So I believe the South Island, which we'll see next week here on Maori television, they'll be wearing the white. So now as we change sides. Obviously, it's halftime. We see Hood will be still on the starting lineup with Hill, Thompson, K-Love, and James.
Love.
We see a nice little drop
Nice
off.
rebound.
And that's what we saw in the stats, Caps. We saw that already. Cleveland are dominating on the
Getting
boards.
outworked on the boards. Getting outworked on the boards, bro.
And as we tell you, and Karu green beams, and that is just crazy from the man himself. He is on fire. I think he's 16 now.
16 points
Hey,
for Curry.
Two-time MVP. Let him go to work. Let him go to work if you are Golden State. Is a nice inbound. But that there is exactly why Cleveland is staying in this one. Their ball movement's better, and the traps are coming from Golden State, but they're playing out of it. Oh, you're kidding me.
Oh!
You are kidding me. As you see,
Splash.
it is like that. It's just,
He's on fire.
He is on
He's on fire.
Everything's going to go through him now. I mean, you've got to ride him all the way through. As you see, oh!
Thompson, nice.
You know, you put your hands down and get out the way when that guy's flying.
Someone's going to try and break your hands if you're going out for that dunk.
They've got to do something with Curry. I mean, that's too easy coming through the lane. He's already had, I think, 19 points for the game. You've got to do something to stop that if you are Paki, because you can't let him get hot as he goes for another steal.
Thompson from the top of the key with the ball. Back out to James. Nice little movement there.
A little bit of outbound, and KD knows, just a little fist pump saying, let's get it done, you know. So we'll see here what we can do. What's interesting for Cleveland too also is you've got LeBron, and he hasn't really featured too much, right? You've got the best player in the world, and as you see it now, he's going to start taking over as he just rims out on that one. Important.
Very important. Well, maybe hopefully later on they can utilize Mr. James a little bit more.
And they have to. I mean, the reality is you've got the
He's
best,
the best player in the world.
He's going for 5. Now, that for his standards, it's quiet, but it's actually what they're doing on offense is, okay, Cleveland's playing quite nice basketball. They're moving the ball, but right now, you got to get a win, right? So put the ball in the man's hands and let him go to work.
Give it to the best player in the world.
As we see, nice movement again, and that's really where we saw with Paki. He plays so nicely when he's moving the ball around a whole bunch. As we see, a deep 3 from Love, and you know you've got to get a hand out, but he misses that one. Keeps it at 32-30 for Golden State as we move the ball around, and he's wide open. That's green, and that's in. That's green, and that's in. You've got to be better. Wow.
The shooting of the man. The shooting of the man.
The man, the myth.
The legend.
We go
James,
James,
come on, James.
and he's got to get out the way. And you can
throw
see
it down, big man. Throw it down.
Ooh.
Nice.
Oh, nice little cut through and a foul. You got a foul.
Foul on Thompson.
And that's a good foul.
That's a good foul.
And so if you are, for everyone at home, when we say...
And the screen is shaking because
what happens is either player, so when you're looking at home, that's actually not poor camera work for everyone here inside the studio. It's actually what you can do in the game. You hit the trigger, and it's a little bit of, I guess, somewhere where you tap your teammate and say, hey, I'm just going to shake it up a bit just to sort of put him off the free throw shot. It's a way that you can do it in the game versus normally like me and you Caps know, and the real deal would just start talking at the line.
Because our free throws are money, bro. Our
start telling the person you're not going to get that, right? I mean, so that's their way. As a, no, you've got to do better down low, James.
Cleveland are going up by 1. 36-35.
And this is it. Carry dances. Are you kidding me?
Oh,
are you kidding me?
Bank.
Are you
call the bank. Call the bank.
Call the bank. And that, I don't think he called that. He didn't call that. Come on, you can't.
Oh, once again.
And the foul. There we have it. And he knows. Look at that. Hands on his head. You can't do that.
21 seconds to go.
So, you know, we just mentioned it before, Caps. You talked about good fouls and bad fouls. I mean, for everyone that's at home, whether they're 2K ballers or they're, you know, I guess actual ballers. What are good fouls and bad fouls, you know, for everyone at home?
Well, if you're going to go up for a basket and it's going to be easy basket, it's probably best to foul your player so it's everything that he tries to throw up next time is difficult. So you're trying to make it as difficult as you can.
That's right. I mean, you can't just let people, as you see there,
so it doesn't make easy baskets.
No easy baskets.
No
right?
ezy baskets.
So that's it. It's not there to hurt or harm anyone, but certainly, you know, that's why they're there. As we see, as we head into the third quarter, the team's chattering. There's a little bit of chat in there, I think, right?
A little bit of, you know, friendly competition.
Yeah, so far, how do you think these guys are playing in terms of, you know, we're at the end of the third quarter, it's 38 all. What do they need to do in order to win game 1?
Yeah, I mean, now it's on the run, right? I mean, we're tired as it should be with 2 very good players. But what the reality is for them is if you've got to stay through Steph Curry, right? If you're Golden State, he's hot, he's close to 20 points. It's all going through him. Give him the ball. Now, as we saw late there, we see James sort of taking over with Cleveland. It's what you'd expect. 2 best players almost on the planet right now. That's what they both have to do. But certainly, the opposite to that is you got to defend better. You can't let Curry go for deep threes from like 20 metres out, you know. You've got to get a hand out. I mean,
once again,
that's a tough shot, but you can live with that, right?
Yep.
But you can't let him dance and then just get open shots, right? So that's probably what you have to do if you're Cleveland right now, and this is what you've got to do if you want to get it back in, as you see James with a nice dish. And ball movement's good to Hill as he looks to kick out again, and James, he'll take that. The 3 ball's been good for him, can't get it. And La with a pretty tip back. And again, the rebounds have just been dominant from Cleveland, and you've got to do better if you're Golden State if you want to win this one. Dre with a deep 3. 41-40, Golden State lead this one with 2 minutes 12. And remember, this is a best of 3 matchup, match number 1 here in the LPL NBA 2K 1on1. As we see, a pretty move again in the foul.
Very, very impressed with their movement of you know, the ball with Cleveland. They've just got, you know, the ball keeps on moving consistently. It doesn't get stuck in one place, and I love that.
I mean, that's it. You know, you see how Paki really knows how to use the Cleveland Cavs, and their ball movement's better. And you know, I mean, you're more usually suited to see Golden State play like that. They like to move the ball. They're far better. But in this instance, the way they're playing the game, we're seeing that it's almost like the opposite. Their offense is kind of like high screen. Curry comes off and shoots it. And in Cleveland, they're moving the ball a lot better. They're not really going for too much of this ISO pick and roll kind of option at the top.
Well, Golden State are very, very relying on Curry and his 3-point, you know, abilities. But we can't really just, you know, rely on Curry for the whole game. I'm just wondering what's going to happen on the next couple of minutes. 1:39 seconds to go.
Oh, that is get out.
Oh,
because you know, if you're James and the double
out
pump,
the way.
that is pretty.
Get out the way.
Move. Oh, KD, you have to reply on the nice spin and off the glass. 1-point game as we head into what is the 4th quarter, a minute 27 on it. Who can get this one and take momentum into match number 2 here inside LPL Studios? A nice cut through, stolen though by KD, who's looking, and that's a good foul. One of those ones we talk about. You can't let them get out on the break, can you?
That's not an easy straight drive to the hoop, so that is a good foul, my friend.
And here we go, as you see Curry wanting that. He's picking and choosing.
Is
You
he
see how
gonna
it's
jack it
quite
up from
isolated.
there?
Yeah, and
Look.
this is what they're looking for, is it's sort of one out as KD with all the moves come on through with a foul. And that's
another good foul there.
Another good foul. As we see KD, that's mechanical to tie this one up.
What would you call that a good foul, my friend?
Well, look, I mean, KD was in the air. You can't do it because the reality is when someone's coming through the lane, they get a dunk, the momentum changes, right? So what you don't want to see is KD with his chest arm and dunking it through the lane. So you stop him and put him to the line. And look, I'd take a free throw any day if you're a coach and you're watching it or playing against, right? So as we see here, James doing what he does, and a nice block.
Nice block.
As Green now looking to control this one because they're up worth a point. KD, you are ridiculous from out there in the bank.
And the bank, call the bank.
48-44, 4 to go. Now we're going to see a little bit of strategy, so we're going to go for a quick little bucket, kick out.
Moving to the ball once again.
That's good defense, though, and a recovery from Golden State. As James said, he's finding it hard to break that down. So good possession, good steal by Golden State to take them up by 4, and then they shut it down, lockdown. As we see now, LeBron go for 16. He's back in the game.
Also, that was really good D from Golden State at that time.
So as it rims in, and we see another off-the-ball foul, off-the-ball foul, and we're going to see a timeout called for both players, and that's what we saw there, so have a little bit of a chat. Green, too easy, wide open, and can they basically clutch it? Not quite, as we see. So we've got plenty to play here with 21 seconds on the shot clock. What can Cleveland do to respond? And they're both in the bonus. So what does that mean, Cats, for everyone at home when they've got the bonus lights over here as we see a timeout called?
So every time there's basically a foul, then that means you will get 2 free throws shots. And
anywhere on the court.
Anywhere on the court.
Which is great, right? So as we see, there's a little bit of, and this is good strategy here. So they've called their timeout. You can see Tyceno now wanting what he wants. This is heat, right? Like, this is right in the battle. You can see them now looking at each other. This is what it's all about.
Elimination if he loses.
And you see Tyceno tapping. Let's go,
let's go.
He
knows. Let's go. Look,
and this
look at
is
the concentration of the man.
And so don't be fooled, you know, if everyone at home that's first time into esports, first time into video games, understand the pressure for them is just like the end of any other traditional games. We see James, double team come up high, Smith with the open, can JR get it done? Oh, but that's that second chance. Moves it out again, 3 for the lead, got it! And that's what we want to see. See, and that's the rebounds we talked about the whole game. You've got to do better if you're Golden State. It's Curry, the hot hand, too easy. As a game winner, got it done.
12 seconds to go.
Called it early on the game winner, so now we've got 1, because we've got 12 seconds here, 10, Give it to the man.
Cleveland
Give it to
down
the
by
king.
1.
He wants to go himself, and he is. He's going to drive through. Can he get it? Offload. Oh!
3.9.
Tap for
Very,
tap.
very nice.
51,
Kevin
50.
Love.
3 seconds, outlet, quick one. Can they get the winner? Steph with the pull-up. It's on!
The defense.
Oh,
Where was the
God.
defense? Where was the defense?
Oh, my gosh. Look at him. Celebrate, my friend. Celebrate. Tyceno is dark. That's a quick timeout.
Quick
What can
timeout.
you do now? What
Drink
can
the
you
water,
do now?
brother. I think like Tyceno, drink the water.
Cleveland,
Rehydrate.
one inbound and a quick shot for the win. Alley-oop play. It's on! Oh! No, no.
Was
What a
was the
match
score
number
there?
1 here. Almost got it done here.
almost. That was so close.
It was so close.
That was really intense. I was just like, feel my heart, like just. But what do you guys make of first game?
Well, look, what a great inning for match
was
number
great.
1. It
I know.
proved exactly what we talked about at the start. Look, it was one way, and right to the point right there.
To the last second.
Look, I think both going into match number 2 can be happy with the performance.
Right.
Certainly, though, the win is a win, and so you got 1-0, right, Caps?
Yeah, I think Golden State will just need to box out a little bit more, and then they'll get more rebounds.
That's right.
How well do you guys think they're using their teams?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I mean, what we saw is, you know, with Golden State, they went through Curry. Their offense wasn't the best, but certainly they looked pretty good. And then obviously LeBron James got it going, so they look good.
Alright, kia au tonu mai te iwi, he whakata poto e haere ki nei, engari amuri i ngā pānui hoko hoko, ko te tākaro te tuki ngā tuarua i muanga i a Tyceno rāua ko Paki. mai nei NBA 2K18. Te whakapāhotanga motuhake Wainganui Whakaata Maori and Let's Play Live, or LPL hashtag. Hoi anō, just before the break we had a winner.
Yeah, Tyceno up against Paki,
Yeah,
right? So
Tyceno.
we saw it was Paki coming at number 8, Seed up against number 1, and he just won it on the buzzer.
Yeah, it was really intense. Hoi anō, before we kick into game 2, let's do something exciting between us and for everyone watching at home. Let's learn a Maori kupu.
Yes.
Poi tū kohu, basketball.
Poi tu kohu.
Poi tū koho.
Ka pai te
Poi
poi
tū kohu.
tū kohu. But here
Right.
it is, game 2, Tyceno versus Paki.
Game number 2 as we head into
Game
this
number
one. So we're looking forward to this one, Caps, as we see them now. Now look, Tyceno came into this one with changed lineups. Everyone that was watching before, we saw the fact that Tyceno played as Golden State, won it on the buzzer, so he's up 1-0 against Paki.
And
Changing
also, my
teams.
brother, you can't pick the same team straight after you've won the last game.
Absolutely correct. So for everyone that is new to this tournament, jumping into match number 2 here, it is best of 3 for starters, but also you can't pick the same team twice.
Yes.
So what we've just seen is actually, even though you go, how come they're the same 2 teams? They're not by the same player. So we now see them swap teams, and now we see the fact that Tyceno is playing with the Cavs, and we see Paki playing as Golden State, as we see a nice inbound for JaVale McGee. So remember, best of 3. If Paki can't win this one, he is gone from the tournament.
Yes.
As we see a nice shot, rim off, and a foul under the basket as we move away. So, to recap, Shakor Paki will play out of the Golden State Warriors, and we'll see Tyceno up 1-0 in the LPL Maori Television NBA 2K 1on1 Championship. This is week number 1 of the top 16 players in the country, as we see a deep and rim rattled out shot from Corver. He wants another, he'll go for a 2. Can't get it done on this occasion though, Caps.
Well, Corver's normally money, so I think he's one of the highest three-point percentages of the history of the NBA.
He's got the most beautiful stroke, as we see Chevelle have a little bit of a fiddle, and Dre with a 3 to get the ball rolling for Golden State. 3-0 in this one, match number 2 in the tournament, as LeBron with a pretty little shake. He looks for a kick out, as he should, and we see Corver with a deep bump off.
Nice rebound.
A nice rebound. James holds it high, can't get it done. So a shaky start from both teams there, Caps.
A little bit shaky and a few bricks being chucked up, but obviously it's interesting to see what the strategy from players to player will be, because obviously they've just switched over teams, and you can see that the strategy is different. They're not Golden State is not utilizing Curry as he was used as much in the last game.
Yeah, and this is what's really great about, I guess, the Esports and 2K, as we see a foul when he goes there with the left-hand putback for Thompson. What's really fantastic about 2K is the fact that you can do this, right? Like, all of a sudden, we've just sort of seen one squad, and then we tip it on its head, and we go, okay, now let's see how good you are. And
Nice.
this is a perfect example of that, as we see Thompson automatic from the free throw line, 5-0, leading this one over Cleveland. But again, to your point, as we saw a slightly different strategy, as LeBron tries to take it through the middle, you see the fact that they're actually going through LeBron, so Tyceno knowing where his bread is buttered.
Butter that bread, put some Nutella on it, and make sure that it all tastes good, because if it doesn't happen again, the team is not going to come through. So Thompson with the balls, one of the Splash Brothers. So where's Curry at? Come on. Are you going to utilize Curry? He's utilizing Green quite a lot.
And again, Green's got 2 from deep.
Normally he can't shoot a 3 to save his life.
No, so he can spread the floor, and the modern NBA where he's able to come out a bit. But yeah, I mean, with the team that they have, get out! Look at McGee as he just stumbles under and says hello. As the King just puts his ankles on his forehead. That is rough for McGee. He's going to make it on Shakor a fool, in my opinion. That is rough for the big guy. As a nice outlet. Now here, LeBron, he's feeling it if he gets that, and he is. There he is. That's why you are the 4-time MVP of the league and the reigning best player in the world.
The bread butterer. The bread butterer.
The bread butterer, for sure. As we see Thompson, and you got to do better. You can't fly out in that if you are Thompson from the Cavs, of course, because Thompson's going to make that. So this is a good little first feel out, as again, these are the quarters, especially when they change teams in NBA 2K, where they've got to go, as we see LeBron, seeing if he's a bit of a heat check, so to speak.
Obviously, one cool thing that is very interesting, when you got 3 Splash Brothers on there now, is would you call like KD? One of the Splash brothers.
As
Nice
you see
there from
McGee with
McGee.
the double pump, reverse coming back through. Katie's definitely, I mean, they've got the Splash family. I think. Oh, and LeBron responds.
Oh.
Look at them laughing at the top. You can see Paki and Tyceno. He goes,
Love it.
You know what? You do that to me with a double pump from McGee, I'm going to give you one right back. This is
Right
good
back.
NBA 2K basketball as we see a deep three from Katie with his hand up. 15-9 heading into this one. Stop clock should stop in a second here as we see that's green, and that's good.
18 more seconds left.
As we see, so now it's about strategy to make that final bucket. You know, you want to push it out. I mean, it might be the first quarter, but you want to get this shot just to distance yourself from the other team. And again, LeBron, what's he got for us? Hello. Look at him. He looks at the crowd, and they're jumping off the bench right now, saying thank you. And you see up there, that's a good response as you're heading in to end this one. Don't give up a cheap shot and a deep shot, and that's a good way to end if you are the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Very interesting just to watch that Curry was not utilised, but Thompson being utilised a little bit more.
Well, that's right. I mean, that's different strategies we saw. We flipped them on its head, and we saw a lot of ball movement from Cleveland in the first game, and now we see it a little bit different. They're not utilising Curry, who was very good in match number one.
Very good.
And now we're heading into match number 2 here in the LPL NBA 2K tournament as we head into quarter number 2, and we see Golden State, who is Paki down at the moment against Tyceno's a little rim rattler. So he's got to win this one. So really, if you're going for the underdog, you're looking for Golden State to try and win this one, to keep it alive in the best of 3. Tyceno playing as a Cavs is just
nasty. Sharp KD.
KD just keeping it alive. So really, really good from both teams as we see LeBron can't quite get it done in forward. But, you know, and again, you know, you can't underestimate how good LeBron is for this team, and they're running the offense straight through. I mean, he's hit a 3, he's thrown down some dunks. I mean, we'll see his stats shortly. As everything that LeBron does, Cleveland does. I
definitely agree, bro. The best player in the world, why wouldn't you run the whole offense through the guy, which in the last game there they have, and they, you know, I think that obviously this team should be rolling it through. Nice little block there from Thompson, but the basket still dropped.
He's shifty though, Curry, right? He's just got that nice little shifty
shimmy,
shake. And look at this, as they try to double LeBron, and they know get out of his hands, and we see a pull-up. That's a bad shot, really, but they get a second chance, move the ball, and that's a better shot. Can't quite make it. But you'll take that if you're Cleveland.
I would take that. Yeah, I definitely would.
As we see Durant
KD
moving the ball, Thompson wide open, and he hits that one for the 3. And so
obviously Paki, you know, Thompson must be his player. Like if you're utilising...
Oh my!
Monster jam.
And he pumps his chest. I mean, I'm just off my seat.
Oh.
Get out. That was just nasty. So Cleveland keeping him in the hunt here as we see go. Steph with another rattle. Now, look, what I'm finding, this is where you're Paki, right? So Paki playing as Golden State, you're up though, but what you don't want is just because you're down 1-0 in a best of 3, you can't get rattled, okay? So what you watch the offense at the moment, it feels this is better offense. Move the ball, get better looks, but you actually see earlier than that, they're actually making really rush shots. They're actually trying to keep it in. It's almost like Paki needs to relax and just play through proper offense and go through the movement. As either it can't respond to tie the game up, as we see Durant on the break. What can he do as he goes with the left hand shifty shake, and he moves it out, 4-point lead.
Shake and bake there.
Shake and bake, baby. Who? Give it to the man who
back
knows
to James,
how to get it done.
The man of the hour, the man of the year, the man of the world.
Love. And again, that's a forced shot. If you're Kevin Love, you've got to move the ball a little bit more and keep it going. And again, look at the stats at the bottom. The Warriors out rebounding the Cavs, 9. You can't do that. Green beam, and that's good. And he knows it. See, Paki puts his hand up and says, yeah, let's go. Tyceno, no movement in the top right-hand corner for people wanting to know. That's Tyceno. He's just staying rock solid, and that's on, and that's a nice reply for the green beams.
Beautiful movement there by Korver.
There's a little smirk over here from Tyceno. He's looking, going, I got. I'm not going to let this one run away. So it's a good response. You got to get that, and that's what they laugh about.
You're over 7 foot. You're over 7 foot. You should be making those dunks regardless.
1-point game. There's your response.
15 seconds.
So now Golden State, you want to take your time, come in and get a shot. Don't force it. Don't give him another possession. Don't do a turnover. As we see, Curry looking for the high pick. He's going himself. Nice little handoff. KD's got to get it done. 3, 2. Little bucket there. So 29-26 as we're heading into this one. Almost half time. Golden State with the deep 3. No.
So Paki up by 3.
Paki up by 3.
By 3 and
really good. And look,
Look, the
see
boys,
the-
they
You see the guys.
hydrate, brothers. Hydrate.
Hydration, the heat's in there, but look, no chat in this one. They know what's on the stake, right? They know what is on the line. Someone here is going to move on to what is going to be week number 2, lose and go home.
If I had the chance to go to watch a NBA game, I'd be freaking out too.
As we have a look at the stats here, Cleveland, who is played by Tyceno in this one, 43%, shocking field goal heading into the first half, but rebounding really, really solid. Assists are equal here, but you look at the blocks and the steals, but again, probably for me, the Warriors, 61%, and they lead this one by 3.
Well, Tyceno's, leading in steals and also in blocks.
Yeah, LeBron James is everything he does, 17
Both teams.
points.
Both teams.
Yeah, and he's at 17 points right now for the game. So, it's what you'd expect from Cleveland. And obviously, if you are Tyceno, stay with him. Even though you're down, stay with him. Play through LeBron. He's hot. But you've got to do better if you are if you are the Cavs and trying to create better offense, because at the moment, Golden State are having their way with whatever they want.
I would also be passing around to Korver, like the 3-point assassin.
He kept them in. I mean, that's a great point. Korver was hot. He had 2 nice shots here, and they've kept him on the court to start this one. We see Korver, nice and pretty. And like we talked about LeBron doing what LeBron does, is he racked up to point number 19 here and match number 2 in the tournament. As we see Curry, an off-balance shot just to respond. and that's tough, right? Like, you can't do much about that sometimes.
But that's him.
LeBron gets stripped on the way through. He's got to get back on defense. So good D by Golden State. And then they're off to the races. And KD with a little bit of a heat. Chevelle with a little putback. And one makes it 34-28 into this one. So Paki, pressure's on him to perform. But right now he looks really good playing as Golden State.
Someone's going to be bossing out JaVale McGee.
Hill looking for Korver. That's a deep shot. Can he get that one done as it rims off for this one? And we see nice offense. Out of bounds, Cleveland ball. Probably forced it there a little bit. They don't need to do that.
If you're watching our players too, they're just looking a little bit more uneasy.
You see Paki, he knows he just gave that one away. LeBron, 2 blocks. You got to go back up, big man. He got pinned twice. Good defense from Golden State. There's 2 blocks back to back under the hoop. As we see Curry wide open. You got to get a hand out there for your Cleveland. And good rebound like LeBron. So LeBron's moving this now. Hill, step into that, son. And he gets the bang.
Bank.
Did he call that?
I don't think so, my friend. I don't think so. I couldn't hear him call that.
You know you can't call that. Basketball fans out there know you got to call a bank if you're going for a 3. As Curry dances to the lane with a nice little rim roller, and he's 36-31. Paki keeping the pressure, and of course all the pressure is on him. He loses this one. He's going home. Another block.
Nice
Great D down there
Jamal.
from Golden State. As we see them just really flexing on the defensive end and keep themselves in there. Ball movement's good.
Tristan.
Bang.
Bang. Splash.
See, this is the thing. So Caps will come to you, right? So you're looking at it, 39-31, 8 points, but you look at the offense, how much better Golden State is playing. They're playing good defense, and they're moving the ball.
I agree. Golden State look a lot more confident in this half compared to the last one.
As LeBron rolls in a quick, easy 2. Now, look, don't be wrong. We look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, and LeBron's over 20 points now, doing very good. But actually what it's doing is allowing them to set on defense, right? Like LeBron is pretty much 1-on-3 at the moment. And he's got to move the ball, as we see KD too easy as he rolls through for an easy 41-43 at Golden State. 11 points for KD in the game, up against 21 from James. And you watch it here as a good example. Okay, so he's got to make some of those plays if you're LeBron, and he is. But the reality is that's not the best for the team, right? Because they're down, they've got to move it. It's a lot easier to defend one dude coming at you, even though it is LeBron.
Well, I think the main thing is that utilizing LeBron, we're just watching through the strategy of what the boys are doing now. You can't utilize, maybe you just can't utilize, LeBron to overcome everyone all the time.
Oh, that's too easy as the nice comes off and
Where's
Curry
the defense? Where's the defense?
Comes through the lane. So you watch here, I mean, this is the difference, right? They're moving the ball a bit better, and you see here it's just a one-man wrecking ball. It's just LeBron, and hey, he gets pinned again. And this is what I'm saying, right? He's just had 3 possessions where it's kind of one-off ISO.
We must be getting tired also.
And he'll wear out, and you've got to do better.
In these games, you can, for people who don't watch these games, can a player get tired?
Oh, and that's an at-1. That's a very, very tough shot. Yeah, they can get tired. So obviously they get fatigue in the game, and that's why you'll see there's timeouts that are called. You can't just keep running the same players. It's not endless, even though it is the 2K video game versus the NBA itself.
So when players are fatigued, they make more mistakes.
That's right, and they're slower out there and those types of things. So you've got to make sure the subs are right.
Probably why we just keep on watching that LeBron keeps on making more mistakes and more mistakes is that he hasn't subbed he hasn't, he's played the whole game.
That's right. But that's, we're just mentioning it right now. I mean, look, sure, LeBron's at 24. He's 8 from 16. By his standard, that's still not great. As KD, too easy, just walk straight through on defense. You've got to do better if you're Cleveland, close up that lane. Don't let that happen. But LeBron's taking pretty much 1-on-4. What was that thing? I think that was what they'd call
not a splash. It was like, don't know if LeBron's range is normally there. Look,
Tyceno has
does
a
he
little
know
look
that
at the
there was
camera and realizes we've got to do better. And you see Paki, see the confidence there now, right? So he's feeling it out. He's up by, close to 10 points, and he's got this match coming into the fourth quarter. So, Caps, what Tyceno has to, in my opinion, Tyceno has to change playing this one-off isolation with LeBron going straight at 4 players. I agree. Like, we've got to get more movement of the ball, move the ball to the open player so he gets a good shot. And then you see here, if you're Golden State, a nice little inbound, and then you see a big little lefty from McGee. Pretty good from Golden State. You've got to move the ball a bit better, as we see that LeBron dancing, and he makes a pretty one. Nice keeping there too, bro. Down by 12, so a little bit to do. Remember, this is match number 2. If Golden State and Paki can't win this one, he is out of the tournament. So can he make us take the tournament to a best of 3? Match number 3, we shall see, with 2 minutes 24 left, as we see Curry wide open, and he drops that one down. And I think at the moment they're pulling away from this one, so Cleveland's got to respond. If we do have the next game, I'm really interested on who the 2 players are which teams they're gonna pick. Yeah, as we see a putback, and really interesting point there. So again, to reiterate, both these players have picked both Golden State and Cleveland for the first 2 matches. They will be brand new teams when we head into match number 3. And that's so the rule set allows it that you can't play the same team. In a tournament. So you're going to see 3 different teams. So right now, both teams have played Golden State and Cleveland. As you see Curry, shimmy shake, good D, but no, better offense will beat better defense in any day, as Curry proves just there to put it up by 14, and he's now on 16 points for the game. But you're right, I mean, that's the thing. Who will they pick? Because these are arguably, in 2K terms, the 2 teams in 2K18 that everyone likes to play. And in reality too, bro, they're the 2 best teams in the world. Absolutely, and that's why they are the way they are. So what we might see here, because obviously as we head with a 14-point lead, with a minute 30, I think, Golden State. So now it's about strategy. I think the point for the 2 guys will be, okay, who am I going to play? Right. What tricks? Oh, you are kidding. And that should be the game, ladies and gentlemen, at home, because 57-40. Kuamutu with 1:24 left in the fourth, match number 2, and we see a steal. And it's coming apart for Cleveland right now. I think they should roll the subs. And if you are Tyceno, regroup, ready for match number 3. Look at Paki on the right. He's just happy, man. He's a happy doer. That's it. I mean, so you want to take some solace out of this one with a minute to go, and that one rolls out again. So it just hasn't been his game right now for Tyceno, but it has certainly been a good rebound game for Paki as we head into this one again. Tyceno was up in match number 1, playing in the opposite team. And that was a good foul too, there, my friend. Good foul, just to slow it down. You see them chatting now, the players enjoying themselves. And 27 now for LeBron, and a green beam makes it guaranteed. 42-57. And so for you, Caps, I mean, what do you think? I mean, from, I guess, taking away the fact that we've got both the players now, 1 each up, okay? Tyceno wins the first one. Paki dominant playing in this team. Dominant. So the mindset's got to be, okay, we can't talk. Do you think they're going to chat, as players, or they're just going to be stone cold when they come out of this one and going into match number 3 and just be like, here we go, we're going to get it done? I'm super, like, this game is nearly done, 26 seconds to go, but I'm looking forward to the next match. This is going to be like out of, one game each. Who are they going to be? So, like... it's going to be interesting as we see Thompson just pretty much puts the icing on top of the chocolate cake. That has been Golden State's performance here. Almost a 20-point beatdown as the clock expires of this one. The LPL NBA 2K 1on1 Championship match number 2. We are going to match number 3. So everyone at home, stay tight as we watch the clock down, because both Shakor, Paki, Tyceno will be back as they shake for what is going to be sudden death match number 3.
Ka tika hoki e rā kōrero, Duan kōrua ko King Kapesi. Just briefly, what did you guys make of game number 2? It wasn't as exciting as, you know, game 1 was for me. But
No, it was a runaway match, right? We just saw that then at 20 points. It's a big beating in a 3-minute quarter.
yeah, you reckon Tyceno just threw it away, King Kapesi?
I think that Tyceno, like after not being able to utilise his players as well as Paki used it the game before, I just hope that he can come back bigger and better and see what we're going to see what he's going to have to do.
Yeah, well, let's wait and see definitely after the break. Hoi anō e te iwi kua mutu, tēnei pāhotanga motuhake, tēnei pāhotanga arorangi ki runga o whakaata Māori, ka haere tonu ngā mahi ki runga i tā mātou whārangi ipurangi, www.maoritelevision.com. So we will be live streaming from here on in. Game number 3 between Tyceno and Shakor Paki. E te iwi, it is NBA 2K18.
For this all my life, I feel it in my veins. Push it harder, gonna climb up higher. It's like I just can't miss. I was made for this. I show the world I'm stronger. Prove it to 'em I'm a fighter. I can't help but win. I was made for this. I was made for this. I was made for this.
For the players. Flavor, beats that move you.
Mai ngā iwi rarau mai ki tēnei whakapāhotanga motuhake. Yes, we are live streaming on MaoriTelevision.com. Welcome back, everyone. So, a bit exciting because it's game number 3 between Tyceno and Paki, and we have new teams.
New teams, yeah, so we're going to see it. Match number 3, right? So firstly, for everyone that's just jumped online or just following us through, it's basically if you don't win, you are out. That's what's so exciting about this. Match number 3, someone's leaving the tournament, and these are very, very good. But to your point around the team, certainly, yeah, we're going to see 2 new teams. Celtics up against the Rockets, and it'll be very interesting to see how that's going to play out, Caps.
Well, this is game on or game off. Get out of here. So Tyceno picking Celtics is quite interesting. And
very, very interesting. As you can see, the lineups here, and Kyrie is in this lineup for them, as we see the Celtics and Tyceno and Jaylen Brown, of course, very good last year. Gordon Hayward, Tatum, and Horford will round out. And then we see, of course, the Houston Rockets led by the man himself, the beard, James Harden. And of course, he's shaking it up and always loves it. He shows it. And Mike D'Antoni's spread offense, so very two conflicting styles as we head into this one. As we see tip-off here, match number 3 in the LPL NBA 2K18 tournament. Proudly brought to you by Maori Television. Nice deep dish and Capella. And this is what Houston will do to you if you play them correctly. So Paki with Houston right now, they like to play the spread offense and they will shoot the lights out. As you see, a bang, bang, bang. Deep from Boston. There's a 3-2 coming to this one. Again, I'm not going to say this is a feel-up, but totally different teams than you'd expect to see normally, Caps.
It's going to be interesting to be able to see, you know, like, compared to the last game before this, or the last 2 games, what the strategy will be.
And so for everyone at home, and you know, if you're basketball fans, you'll know this, and for those that aren't, we're looking at 2 conflicting styles, and we say 2 conflicting styles, Caps. We're talking about Mike D'Antoni, the coach of the Houston Rockets, as we see a nice little bank runner there, and it goes in to lead at 5-2. Houston like to play what they call, Mike D'Antoni made it very famous from what is a 3-second offense. And what they try to do means that they try to get up and shoot the ball, and they try to make a shot, as we see, like there, the perfect set, which is shoot threes a lot, and they don't like to settle for the mid-range shot, right? So they're all about, my offense is going to score more than yours anytime, whereas actually, on the other side with the Celtics, is much more of a defensive team, led by Brad Stevens, and a lot more strategy to what they do. So 2 very different styles.
Well, Houston with a high number of shots, and I think that's the main thing with Houston. It's just like getting up number of shots is obviously, hopefully we're going to outscore the other team, like you said. Nice little free throw there by Mba.
Yeah.
Mba.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it says.
As we see Tatum kick it up. Oh, that's right. As we see Kyrie, and he puts it back. So again, here we go. You watch this when they try to get out, and it'll just be hardened on the break, as it always is, and then this is what they want to do. They want to beat you there, and they'll kick for threes. And you see it deep in the reason. He's going to take that, and he's got the green light anytime. But what happened in the finals, in the actual NBA finals this year, we saw Houston shoot.
Ariza didn't come to play, bro.
He didn't come to play. I think he was 1 from 9 or something.
I was like, wow. I was very, you know, because like over the years he's done amazingly good, and Ariza this particular finals he didn't do good at all.
That's right. So again, nice as Kyrie falls back and bangs out with a green beam at the top. And that green that I'm talking about there, Caps, and for everyone at home, that means that it's pretty much guaranteed. When you get that, that's a perfect release of the shot in the NBA 2K18 video game, and that's what you get. And it's almost guaranteed, as we see him try to little hook shot in the lane, and that falls out for...
So just getting back to your quick question on that green little button, you know, like that you were saying. So the best release is for different players?
So it's just, yeah, I mean, it's much more for the players that are in there playing. It's just when they release that trigger, because obviously you've got a beam that will go up, and when you hit it perfectly at the top, that will be when it goes. You sort of see there it's white, so it's close, and it's almost at the top of that white bar. It's actually a pretty good shot, but when it goes green, that's perfect. And you can pretty much guarantee, and that's why I sort of call it before it goes in, is it's green beams, as they say, green beams, baby, and then that's a guaranteed shot. So, and so that's kind of what you're trying to do if you're the 2K player here, as we see Harden trying to bring this one, and as he pulls back for a final shot of the quarter, as he goes deep, and that's too easy for Capella, as you see he's Harden led the league in assists, and that's what they can do to Houston Rockets, make this one 12-8 as we get into it.
10 seconds to go.
Now Kyrie with the isolation, he'll probably want this. He wants to probably call a park. He doesn't need it because he's so good with the dribbles. Kicks out to the corner. Can they respond? Can't get it done, and we'll see that at the end of the quarter. Houston Rockets, who was played by Shakor, Paki, is up 12 points to 8 up against Tyceno, who has looked at himself and questioning whether what's happening in the first quarter, I think is what he's saying to himself.
I'd love to be able to hear what these guys are saying is like, yeah, what?
As he's looking, and this is the thing, you know, we said, I think, Oreni said at the start of the show, she said, you know, about confidence. I talked about that for the players. You can kind of see how relaxed Paki got, and he talked about that, and now you see him now how casual he is. And in his last 2 games, he's casual, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Also, a thing, like, I'm pretty interested in these chairs, bro. These chairs are like gaming chairs for people who don't, you know, they look like a racing car chair to people who don't know about it. But, you know, what's the good thing about these chairs? Are they...
Yeah, I mean, for gamers,
you know?
I mean, they love it. I mean, certainly they spend, you know, if you're a very good player like these ones, spend a lot of time in them. So you want that comfort for your back, as we see a little dance and drop off, and Horford pump fakes and kicks out, and Irving doesn't want to take that one. But yeah, you're right, the chairs make comfort. They're out there for a long time, and you know, today they want to be comfortable, because what you want to make sure is, and again, if people are tuning in, and wherever they might be, certainly now on the audience and Twitch, they'll understand that, but you want to make sure that the equipment's good. You know, they're here. You don't want to leave anything for by chance, so to speak. So the equipment needs to be good and the chairs need to be good.
And also, my friend, at these championships, we have state-of-the-art equipment here.
Yeah, absolutely. The very best. And the teams are played on the PlayStation 4 Pros, so the very best. It's Harden couldn't quite make it cook as he likes to do. He wants it second, and he makes it. You can't do that. You can't let it as he starts to stir the pot.
Cook it up, Harden.
The beard, and that's another. Can Tatum respond? He will, as you saw, a green beam we talked about earlier. And here we go now. 1 point game. Remember, sudden death for everyone that's watching across the Mutu, because if they can't win, they're going home, as we see Capella with the handoff. They're going to try for the two-man game here as Harden wants that high pick, and what he'll do is, if they don't come, they drop inside as Capella leaves it behind on that occasion. But certainly that's the Houston pick-and-roll game they like to play. Deep, and arguably poor in the fact that that's a deep shot, and there's no movement in that one there, as we see here. If you're Houston, you'll take that and shoot that all day, and as you see, a nice little drive and can't get it done. But Capella rewarded with that, and also rewarded with, I think, a $90 million contract with the Houston Rockets just recently. So well-deserved, very good player. As you see, a shot put up. They can't quite get it done, can they, Caps, as we see a foul?
Well, Brown, it's not going to work there. And what I think we need to do, what we need to see more from Tyceno's playing, is actually just to keep on making sure that he's making those shots consistently. And
that's pretty from Harden, as he called the isolation. And for everyone that was watching it, you saw him call that in the play earlier with his settings. He called it, and he wanted Harden one-on-one. He knows that that's his guy, and he did that, and he called it. Perfectly executed play, both in real life and also here in the video game world. That was excellent from my man Paki as he went through that one. So we see Capella looking high, and Ariza trying to come with a dribble handoff here. And we're looking for something here. Slow down the pace, and they take a mid-range, which is very rare for the Houston Rockets there.
Yeah, normally they're guys that do play at a high level of intensity, and at this particular time they're just slowing down just a little bit more. It's pretty interesting to see what how Paki's playing with the Rockets, and also how Tyceno's playing with the Celtics, and what their strategy is once again.
And that's wide open for Brown. He's got to hit that, and he does. And now we're a two-point game. So nice response there by Tyceno with the Celtics, as we see another inside play in Capella. What's interesting, though, we talk about earlier on, is that's a brick. Oh, nice little steal.
Nice steal.
And he'll hold that up. That's good basketball possession, and give it to someone that can shoot it like CP3, and he just rims out. Needs to make that one as we head into the final 30 seconds of this match number 3. Do or die in the LPL NBA 2K 1on1 Championship. Probably brought to you by Maori Television. Kyrie Irving with the little runner. He'll tie this one up if he can make that. And they're in the bonus right now, so that means that if there's any fouls going on, then they're straight there. So I love it. I love this one.
Good, brother.
I'm on the edge of my seat right now. I love this one. This is truly, as we see Harden, that's too easy. Make that as he goes in. Now here we are. He's cooking.
Yep.
And he's nodding his head as he should.
For all you guys out there, the reason why he's putting his hand up, and he's got his what do you call it? His cooking.
That's him cooking and stirring the pot.
He's stirring the pot.
And so when he gets hot out there, if you see him in real life and obviously in the game, he likes to stir the pot when he knows he is cooking, and that's his whole thing. It's like, I'm getting hot, you better guard me. And as he just proved there, he is hot. As we see an isolation play, what can they do with the final possession? Kyrie with the fullback, step back, can't get it done. Houston leads this one 22-19, and Paki up in this one, the best of 3, heading into what is the final half and the final 6 minutes for one of these players.
It looks like it's getting a little bit tense in that room, but it's good. We like the intensity.
We do like the intensity.
It's a competition.
It is a
good
competition.
pressure there, absolutely. And like you said, for those guys, is now we're at the final 6. They won't really talk about it. As we have a look at the stats right now, Rockets are shooting better, they're rebounding the ball better, they're moving the ball better, and clearly they're up on the scoreboard. So probably doesn't reflect how well I thought the Rockets played in the first one, but the Celtics obviously hanging in this one, Caps.
Well, the Rocket with the one block is quite interesting. You know, I think what we've got to make sure is that Tyceno keeps on moving the ball. He's not really moving the ball much, and the Rockets are moving just a little bit more better than the Celtics.
And that's right. And then you just look at it, Oreni, Caps, you think the fact that Harden, as we saw, he starts to stir the pot. He's getting good. And reality is, if they get good in this game, like in real life, it's going to be hard to stop them. When they call those isolation plays and they go one-on-one with the high pick, it's going to get you in trouble. And Harden's already taken them to the rack, right? As we see now, we head back into the studio with the boys, deep in thought. And you see there's no chat there now, is there? Because we go into this one. So everyone, buckle up. Let's get ready for what is is do or die here in match number 1 of week number 1 of the LPL tournament. As we see the ball move, the Reeds are wide open. Can he open up? And he does. Splash. 25-19, up by 6. Now we've got to stay with it, and every position matters, as we know in this game, and also in real life. Caps, you can't let a team get a run on you.
Well, definitely with Paki making a good run here, and obviously look, it's looking very, very intensified right down the left. I think that he might have the game.
As we see there, fullback, and that's the shots you don't want to be taking if you're Boston right now. You're down 6, it's okay. Basketball is a game of ebbs and flows, and so what you don't want to be doing is forcing it, and that is just so pretty as he throws. Beautiful. It's a double clutch and another steal, and this is where Tyceno has got to really pick up his game and lock in now, because he does not want this to run. And that's a good foul.
That's a good foul.
To side down. Look at Paki pumping and chest, and look, he's going, let's go, Tyceno. All eyes as we look up here.
Deep concentration.
Nice roll, and this is better. You've got to stay with patience. As we see a foul called, and look at Paki going, no. And so there's a bit of banter in the room. I guarantee you that right now.
He
for the
looks
runners
hyped.
watching. And that's the thing, is Paki's going to get into Tyceno, and we're going to make sure Tyceno's got to respond, right? So there's a little bit of that sportsmanship going on. Wide open, Chris Paul with a deep 3. Now, Caps, this is what we're talking about, right? The run is going to come, so you can't get rattled if you're the Celtics and go one-off basketball, as we see another strip here. You've got to be very, very careful that this doesn't blow out.
I think that's the main thing with basketball. If when you start just playing one-on-one basketball, which Tyceno seems to be playing a little bit now, you got to always go back to the game of the
that's
team
a tough
game.
shot. That's right, tough shot.
It's a team game.
The team, as we see Kyrie with a fullback to try to respond. This is a 10-point game, but again, Harden is on fire, and he's feeling it with that cross-court pass to Paul, and then Capella move it, and they'll take that shot. Greens, and that's where you get bang. So we're now 34-22 here in the final match, third quarter. Boston with another fall away.
And a fadeaway.
Now look, I don't want to say that Tyceno's forcing the matter, but I also don't want to see him give this up. I mean, he's better than that, and certainly what he doesn't want to do is just give it up by just going to Kyrie with fall away shots.
Yeah, that's not the type of shot I want to see.
No, and also for Tyceno, you don't want him to just drop his head, and it's tough. That's a good shot from Houston. It's third as he holds up a 3, baby.
What type of kai would he be cooking?
Well, I don't know.
If he's cooking a hungy or something, I'd be keen to have a...
Wow, that's a deep shot, and that's tough. As we see a 25-37 with the response, 45 seconds coming into this one. Houston all in control, Paki all in control into this one, and Tyceno with it all to do as we're heading towards the end of what could be the final quarter for one of these gentlemen in the first match. As we see Harden Green, and he's going to get that. You've got to do better again.
Cook it up, bro. Cook it up.
And Paul's got his hands high. He's clapping, and he knows. And this is it. Isolation with Kyrie, as pretty as that is. But you can't do that again. And we've seen them just go back to these kind of isolation plays, move the ball. And you'll see them Harden dribble out the clock now. They won't want to waste this last possession because they're running in control. 14 points. Houston Rockets led by Paki there. Nice shot there by Paul. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is really almost a 20-point game. Third quarter, this is going to be very hard for Tyceno to come back from, as we see Hayward with the final shot of the quarter can't make it.
And just remembering, bro, that we still have one more quarter to go, so hopefully Tyceno can make a comeback. It would be an amazing comeback if he did, but if not, Paki is going to be going through to the next round.
Yeah, what do you think about that, Dwan? Do you think Tyceno has any chance of coming back? I mean, the margin has kind of grown a lot bigger in third quarter.
Look, you only have 3 minutes, that is,
Yeah.
I mean, look, the end of that quarter, that's why I kind of kept saying you've got to stay with it, because he's only got 3 minutes. I mean, some other games, other tournaments, he's got a lot longer. He has 3 minutes in real time to try to make up almost a 20-point deficit.
That's right.
Is it
Do you
possible?
think he's
Yes.
given up?
No,
I felt
No.
like, in my
Two.
opinion, look, I saw that he took 3 shots with Kyrie falling away. To me, that was just like wasted possession. He wasn't really trying.
Yeah.
And it did look a little bit like that to me. We'll see now in my opinion, the first minute of this quarter, whether he really wants to continue on or whether he's kind of dropped his head and I guess, resigned to the fact of what's about to come.
but let's just hope Tyceno makes a nice little run here.
Agreed.
Moving the ball.
He's
Horford.
a better player than that, and as we see, that's a better shot and a better play there by Boston and Tyceno coming back into this one. You see, he wants a hard isolation, Paki, as he should, and he goes with a double team high with the Celtics, and then we'll go Harden again with another isolation pick and roll, trip dish,
Capella.
and then Capella with the foul. And you can see up here in the right corner of Tyceno scratching his head. I think he's feeling the frustration a little bit now. There's nothing he can do, both offensive or defensive, that seems to be working against Shakor Paki.
And there's still just such a short amount of time for him to make a comeback. There's only 2 minutes, only just a little bit more.
As Haywood looks good with a little step through and puts 2 on the ball. So if you are obviously the Houston Rockets and you're playing Paki, you don't have to rush anything now. You're up by so much, your clock is on your side, and just like real basketball, just take your time, right?
And, you know, you got 24 seconds to be able to make that particular, play. So just run down the clock.
And this is what they're doing now. You can sort of see that as he's just taking his time, as you see Paul in the corner. And if he makes that, it's going to be tough to come back from. And so that's right. Whereas if you are the Celtics, they've got to get these going, bang, and that's a good way to go. So now we've got to see a quick change. If you're the Celtics, you've got to fasten up the pace, okay? So you've got to be a bit more like the Rockets would do. You've got to get a couple of threes early, but certainly leaving CP3 in the corner is not going to help you, as that rattles in for another 3. Makes it 15. So Celtics have got to get to go. If he can get 2 buckets, we're back in within a 10-point game with a minute to go, and that's always sort of the golden number for everyone at home, if you can be within 10 as he fires
With that.
a rough
Well,
shot.
Tyceno has to start just checking him up.
He has, and look, I think 15. I don't want to call it too early for everyone at home, but certainly it is a tough shot if this was to go in. But again, they've got to quickly make some shots here and some easy ones. Pull it out as Haywood and Tatum go for a little bit of two-man, they turn it over, and that's not going to help. So this may be, as you see here, a pullback, and Chris Paul's going to have a dance.
But he has been utilising Kyrie. Is there any other players that can actually, make the difference and make those plays that he needs to be made?
As you see, an 18-point swing. Look, I think there are players. I mean, they're a better team when they move the ball, clearly. And that's just bullying, as you see there. He didn't need a foul. That was sort of a, hey, I've got you by 18, so I'm going to nudge you. And that's kind of a bit of what I call a bit of a nudge in the back, so to speak. And Tyceno didn't like that much. You can see that in his face. He knows, one, the score's there, and also you're fouling for the sake of fouling. Let it play out, let it play out. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, as we see the last 40 seconds of match number 1 here in the LPL NBA 2K 1on1 tournament. Shakor Paki, who is playing with the Houston Rockets, is up to take this one and will walk into the next round and move through. And Tyceno, the 8th place and very well supported player, is actually going to get knocked out of this one in 19 seconds there, Caps.
Well, Paki, the current champion,
is
going to
about
be
to
the
roll
champion.
on.
Like he's on his way, through to the road to the riches.
And he knows it.
And he knows. You
Bobbing
see
his head
Tyceno
right there.
up in the right. He's walking out. He's packed his bags, and he don't want to know about it, right? I mean, look, that's what it is. He knows there's no point, right? This is sort of, look, he's got his hoodie, his jumper. He's disappointed. And I think Paki's done a really good job and deserve a job. These weren't close wins, right?
He's over it.
He's over. He's literally walking out. He's called the game before the 10 seconds.
Well, congratulations to Paki, but good on Tyceno. You've been a good match.
There we go.
Shake the man's hand.
They don't want to shake hands at the moment. But look, absolutely have to give props to Tyceno. He is a very good player, and he came up against the #1 seed. So again, if he had been seeded somewhere else, could have been a different result. So we've got to give props to Tyceno for being here and playing so well, but certainly bigger props to our man Paki as he progresses through, and he's about to watch this one end as the buzzer goes, and we see the 2.
There you go.
There
That's
we
what I
go.
wanted to
We
see.
clap, clap,
Just
clap.
a game, Fano. It's just a game.
Fantastic.
But it's a game that's going to take you all the way to an NBA game, a real one.
That's right. $15,000 up for grabs at the end of this tournament on 30th of September. So it is a big deal, and I can understand, But I did not expect that. Last 10 seconds, get up, walk away, no.
I didn't expect it at all. I mean, to be fair, it was actually quite dominant if we think about all 3 matches. I mean, the first one was quite tight, and that was that feel-up. But you think that there was almost 20 points both games for Paki over Tyceno.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think there was anything that's not convincing.
Yeah, well, could Tyceno have tried something different? Do you think, there might have been around the selecting of the teams? Because I do, Houston and Boston, that was a little bit of
it's a very difficult thing to be able to make sure that those 2 are the teams that you're going to go into
was it the right choice?
Look, what's really interesting is actually Paki won the coin toss, right? So which means for everyone that's watching, he got to pick first. Most
Right,
players would
okay.
pick Golden State. They didn't. Tyceno still got Golden State first
Well, that's
without
it.
even having to pick. So all of a sudden,
And he
had
did
probably
really
the
well.
best, and he did quite well.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, he was playing probably on his second team
Yeah.
in his second game, and that showed. And then I think that third one was pretty tough, right? So
Yeah, all
you
right.
have
Well, me huri atu tātou ki te kōreroki, te toa o tēnei tukinga nui whakaharahara, the first match winner, who is Paki.
Paki, first off, congrats on the win 2-1.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
All right, but let's take it back to game number 1. Tell me what was running through your mind in the last 10 seconds of that game.
Well, man, Tyceno had the best team in the entire league. One of the hardest teams to stop. Can't stop them at all. His offense was absolutely astounding. Can't stop it, but came to the last second in the end and got the loss, but came back in the last 2 games and got the wins.
All right, and then let's talk about the series as a whole. Do you think you played that as well as you wanted? You were pretty confident coming in. Any mistakes you want to tighten up?
Only after the first game. Kind of had me a bit edgy after I lost that game, but once I had that second game on hand when that blowout, kind of got my confidence back after I knew I could do everything with that because they don't have the best offensive people in the game.
All right, and then your next match is going to be against the winner between stonecoldkiller and, of course, airbrn. Do you have a favourite that you want to play?
Not too fussed about them actually. I'll play anyone, and to be honest, I hope they will have a good match, and well, I'll see them then. See them next time.
All right, thanks very much, and again, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Pretty good kōrero there, astounding play there, as we heard in terms of talking about his competitor today.
Oh, that's exactly it. I mean, when you looked at it, he was actually kind of right? He could have won the first one on that final play with Cleveland, and he missed it, and that was just really because of actually the clock ran down. So he was very dominant. I think he's right. He's certainly the favourite. I think he shouldn't worry about who he's got to play with. I think he's got everything going his way at the moment, and rightfully so. There's the #1 seed.
Congratulations going out to Paki. I think that's the main thing, and a big up to Tyceno for his efforts too.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. I didn't quite enjoy watching them, evolve over the 3 games, watching them go from real comfy and then really intense. So it's actually a really great experience, first time ever. So I hope everyone at home is enjoying watching as much as we are here in the studio at SkyCity here in Auckland. Hoi anō te iwi kawe, haere tawhiti. We're going to take a short break and we will be right back.
I've been waiting for this all my life. I feel it in my veins. Push it harder, gonna climb up higher. It's like I just can't miss. I was made for this. I show the world I'm stronger. Prove it to 'em I'm a fighter. I can't help but win. I was made for this. I was made for this. I was made for this.
For the players.
Huge match. He's gonna do something big. Letting his way out. And there we go again.
Flavor. Beats that move you.
Huihuia mai e ngā iwi e mātaki ana koutou NBA 2K18, brought to you proudly run by Maori Television and Let's Play Live, LPL, down here at SkyCITY, Auckland, and I'm joined by Dwan Mitu. He is the man, so is King Kapisi.
Kia ora koutou.
So, let's recap. What's happened in the last hour and a half? A lot,
Well, yeah,
actually.
everyone's just joined us. Fantastic first matchup, right? It was do or die, and we saw the #1 seed in the form of Paki, last year's champion, up against Tyceno. Many NBA 2K fans on Twitch and Maori Television will know who he is, but he is gone, and he's out of the tournament. 2-1 losing to Paki just before, and look, it's a tough way to lose such a great competitor.
That was the first, and second game were really, really exciting, but the third one was a bit lackluster. So, like in all honesty.
Well, what do you think that was? Was it because of the teams? Because I did really enjoy watching the Cavaliers, and the Golden State face each other.
Maybe the play as well, because the plays were a little bit more, they were moving the ball a lot more in the first and second game, but the third game they were just like going down to individual play.
Yeah, I agree. And maybe it's a little bit to do with the fact that, when someone's winning, the momentum's there, it just becomes a little bit hard to kind of stay within that.
We were just talking about that in the ad break, right? About how difficult it might be sitting right next to your opponent, and especially if they've, got their game face on and their game talk, we actually can't hear what they're saying, and I wish we could, because, I know what the Cuzzies are like when they're playing and really intense, eh?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And that's the thing, is what people don't realise. It's right beside each other, there's a little bit of pressure in there, and that's sort of the thing that we see, and I saw that. I saw that in the players, and I think that's what kind of got over the top of Tyceno in the end.
Yeah.
A lot of strategy in there. I mean, like, imagine if, how would you put off your player? Just like if you're playing normal basketball too, you're going to talk trash to them. And obviously, if you're going to talk trash next to your player, if they can hear you, then you're going to get put off easily.
That's right, that's right. Speaking of talking trash, let's not do that. Let's rehash what I taught you before game 2, which was te kupu o te rao. What was that? What's the Maori word for basketball?
Pahi ki te pauro.
Nice. You win.
You win.
You win, but
that
that's
wasn't
not
the
quite
one.
the word that we taught, which is poi
Poi.
Poi tu
kohu.
Poi tu kohu.
Kohu.
Ka pai, poi tu kohu e te iwi. That is the Māori word for basketball. Of course, so is pahi ki te poro, but poi tu kohu. Anyway, let's take a look at what exactly are we looking at? This is our next matchup. Koe nei te tukinga, nui whakaharahara mo te wiki e tū mai nei. Next week, the first match for the South Island Elites. Who are we expecting?
As you see here as well, though, what is really, really interesting in that matchup here is we've got Airborne from Esports, a new esports club which is called Breakaway Esports, and we see there, and that Breakaway Esports, for everyone that's tuning in, very, very interesting, because that player is actually playing out under the fact that he is from the Breakers, as in the traditional sporting team Breakers.
Really interesting.
And he's playing, that's where he's wearing that t-shirt, so that's the first time they've jumped in there.
So an actual official sporting
franchise.
sponsorship franchise.
So the team, the Breakers.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and that's Airborne. So that's why he's playing as Breakers Airborne for everyone, which is fantastic. He's actually down there training out of the facility. So slightly different. I mean, they're diversifying out of there. But
out of the Breakers facility, like he's playing basketball, like the game at the basketball Breakers facility.
So he's going to come into this really, really well. And then you see stonecoldkiller. Don't disregard. I mean, this is 4v5 seed, so they're going to be very, very close. But certainly Airborne, he's going to have a lot of fanfare because he's coming with, I guess, the hype of a franchise.
Yeah. Are they coming in with him? Sorry, just an obvious question.
Absolutely.
Are the Breakers coming in next week?
Well, let's have a little chat and check out what he's got to say for himself.
That's right.
Airborne, you've just been signed up to a new Kiwi esports organization, Breakaway Esports. How's the pressure coming into the first match under the Kia?
Obviously there's a little bit of pressure, being at my debut tournament, so there's a little bit of pressure there just to perform, but generally I don't tend to place pressure on myself. I go in there, do my best, and hopefully it all comes right.
And coming out of the qualifiers, you're coming into your first match against stonecoldkiller. Are you worried about this match at all?
Not really. I beat him in the seeding tournament, so I'm confident that I can do it again, and hopefully that I can bring it back out.
And if there's one person you can beat in the entire competition, who would it be?
I feel like I can beat most of the guys, the guys at first and second, I'm aiming to beat those guys because they're obviously the best here, and as long as I can beat everyone else, then I'm pretty happy with the results.
Okay, mate, best of luck for the first match.
Thanks.
I heard just heard through earlier play today that the Airborne you know, had been playing Tom Abercrombie.
Tom Abercrombie, yeah. So they had a little bit of a jam with Tom Abercrombie to have a little go. So he's over there out of the facility, which is great. But also what's really interesting about Airborne as a player is the fact that he's actually one of the better FIFA players that we have in this country. So he actually has been FIFA and he's transferred those skills over here, and obviously he's putting his effort into this tournament to try win it for his franchise. So he's an interesting player in that sense.
Ka pai. Tēnā kia tūtaki atu tātou ki te huariri a Airborne, ara. I like his name. Well, actually, sorry. They've all got, no, his competitor is
Stone Cold Killer, Stone Cold Killer, who he's up against, and he's also, again, can't be undermined. So, look, I think we should have a look at him, having a quick chat to our team earlier on and see what he has to say.
We've got Stone Cold Killer here today. Stone Cold Killer, you're coming into your first match against Airborne from Breakaway Esports. How do you feel coming into this one?
To be honest, I'm feeling pretty relaxed. I versed this guy in the seeding matches. He beat me 2-1, but I reckon I got him this time.
And this is going to be your first time in an LPL tournament, and is that nervous for you? Everyone else has competed before.
Yeah, like, I just try to stay relaxed. Had a good early night's sleep last night, so I got a good like 7-8 hours sleep. So yeah, I'm feeling good.
All right, and who's your one guy to beat in the whole tournament?
One guy that I want to beat is probably last year's first place winner, Shakor, Paki, I think his name is. Yeah. So if I win this game, I go on to verse him the next game. So that'll be my goal, to beat him, yeah.
Okay, well, best of luck for getting that goal.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Stone Cold Killer.
Stone Cold Killer. It's like Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Austin, you know, what's the WWF
that's what
guy?
I'm thinking.
Steve
Stone
Austin.
Cold Steve Austin. That's right, but this is Stone Cold Killer.
Stone Cold Killer.
So pretty relaxed there, pretty relaxed,
Yeah,
cruising through his interview. And he also wants a shot at
Shakor. He called him out.
Paki.
And of course, big shout out obviously for South Auckland Massive, obviously there, because he's from Pakiranga, as you said. So probably, you know, if there's anybody out there from South Auckland, get behind that man. Airborne's from Tauranga, so I guess we've got a bit of it is a North Island, but certainly we've got the South Auckland representative up against a man from Tauranga in the form of
South Island, right?
No, this one is both in the north. So these are, and then we'll see the south next week. So for everyone that's tuning in, so these ones are now seeds 5 and 6 in this particular tournament. So interesting, and also like he mentioned, I think what's really interesting about what he was talking about is he's jumping forward to Tyceno. Don't worry about Tyceno. Let's worry. Sorry about Paki, because he's talking about Tyceno or Paki's matchup. Don't worry about that. Worry about this one, because this is a very good. All right, let's head on to this one, ladies and gentlemen, as this is match number 2 here in the LPL NBA 2K 1on1 tournament. We'll see the Cavaliers line up against the familiar Golden States. Both two lineups very familiar from match number 1. Remember, this is the best of 3 lineup. Airborne will play as the Cavs and Stone Cold Killer will play as Golden State, as we see here. Match number 1, best of 3 tip-off, 3-minute quarters if you're just joining us. And then we roll through to match number 2, and if we do not have a clear winner, 2-0, we'll head into match number 3.
I'm really looking forward to the second matchup of this tournament. And then we go with Green with a nice two-hander dunk there.
That's it, as we see here. A nice little dunk here. So again, we've just seen these two teams play with 2 different players. So again, contrasting to see how they will play them. And we see better ball movement by Cleveland, as we see the man, the king himself, drop an early 3 to say, hey, here I am, here I am.
Kia ora.
And see Curry, though, also wants to respond with a little shimmy shake, and that's what he does so well. Kicks out to Thompson, and Green will always mean money.
Splash brother right there, my man.
That's one of the Splash brothers, and that's nice. 5-3 lead. So again, first quarter will always be a fair out caps and checking these two players out.
And so for everyone who doesn't know who the Splash brothers are, so the Splash brothers are Mr. Curry, also
Clay Thompson was the other one, and then they
added KD.
They added KD, and then all of a sudden they started calling the Splash family, because that is what he can do. He misses that one though, it rims out. I was going to call it for what it was. I was hoping for a splash and a bit of impact, but clearly he misses that one. But of course, very, very good. And that's the thing with the Splash brothers. For everyone watching, as we see a nice boom come on through the lane. JR with the nice little rock the rim to say, let's get up on it. And then that's good defense by Hill, turn it over, and some patience from Smith looking to reset here, potentially with an isolation.
It'll be super interesting to see the inconsistency of JR Smith, like to see how he plays in this particular game. Because if he turns up, he turns up. If he doesn't turn up,
and that's a great call. I mean, JR has the ability to be hot, as you see a nice little man move down low as he spun through and just got there. Nice goes through with Thomas. But like you said, you're dead right, is how does J.R. Smith go? Because the reality is this guy can be hot and cold, and when he's warm, he is cooking, and when he's not, he is to the point of getting the man off the court and sit him at the end.
What's interesting too, that in the last 2 games that were these 2 teams were utilised, J.R. Smith wasn't utilised at all.
It wasn't utilised at all, absolutely. So they changed this up. So for the 2K fans out there, you can obviously alter your lineup like any game, whenever you want, and any real one. So he's going with the traditional lineup in the Cleveland Cavaliers. So they're going with who you would expect to play as your starting 5 and who started in the NBA Finals. But we didn't see that in the last matchup. So again, both traditional lineups. As we see here, subs coming in. I think they're going to bring in Livingston and David West for the Warriors.
I've got to say that for Airborne, like the movement of the ball that he's got going, I'm very impressed with.
Pretty, yeah, exactly. You're dead right. And you see here with Curry on the penetration, and see how he can take that easy too. And what he does is he commits to defense from Cleveland. He kicks out, and they're making really good reads there and getting wide open shots for Golden State. And that's what they do really well when they move the ball. They're just so hard to contain for that reason alone. As we see Hill give it to James. James, too easy as he bumps through, and he'll make that one as it just rims out. I was calling it early for him, but he took a bump and it was unlucky to get the
my friend.
As you see, West. And this is also a lineup they use quite a lot for Golden State, where they bring in West to move into the power forward, and they use Livingston as a guest, as you see him there, number 34, right on cue, as a tall point guard,
Another thing too, bro, like most teams, like in the lineups that they've had for Golden State Warriors, haven't really used Zaza Pachulia at all.
No.
Hasn't even.
So Zaza, yeah, really interesting you say that, because Zaza last year was one of the more interesting ones, but obviously nowadays he's not playing as well on the court in the physical NBA, and then obviously mindful here that JaVale McGee is more the player they like to play through, or when they go to a death lineup, they move it to more of pull out the center altogether, as we see. Probably not a lot of reaction, in my opinion, from the 2 players in the form of Stone Cold Killer up there to your right and Airborne over here on the left. There is just no emotion like what we saw in the last.
It's like these guys aren't even talking smack. They just, it's interesting from player to player how they play.
Bang.
Nice little lefty there from
Thompson with a nice little left-hand rim rocker. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's very interesting how we saw the last matchup, the 2 guys sort of talking a lot and sort of, I guess, are being very vocal about what they're doing. You see these guys, they haven't even moved their hips. I mean, you can be mistaken in thinking that they were just like watching TV or something. I mean, there's just no emotion at the moment. Now, whether that's good or bad, not sure. But if we see a block and a foul from Kevin Durant on LeBron, and we see here a nice
focus of the boys. The focus of the boys is like very, 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 very incredible. And also our friend Airborne representing the Breakers. How much pressure would that be actually representing the Breakers?
Yeah, I mean,
team?
look, yeah, Breakaway Esports is the team. The esports component of their new, I guess, franchise. And that's fantastic. Got a whole bunch of players and content creators, so look to them to make a big splash in the esports space in the gaming world from weeks to come. But yeah, to your point, with Airborne, a lot on the line, I mean, with these sort of signings and I guess the visibility of that, there's a lot of pressure as we see a little dance from Hill. He wants to, ISO can't get it done. Love wants it with West, and it's a little bit more slow movement here from Cleveland trying to go with the wrap play and kick back to Love, who wants to dribble. And this is very good defense from Golden State, giving them nothing, as we see a nice block. And we see a kick out here from JaVale McGee going one-on-one with Love. What's he going to do? Pulls out and gets pinned against the backboard by Love. Ooh. And again, 2 good defensive plays here as James pulls out for a deep 3, and he'll go, here you go, take that one, and let's move it to a 6-point game.
On behalf of us Hoopers, that other, that play before was ugly.
Ugly 2 players and see Curry. And they're running the similar set. So Stone Cold Killer, just for everyone at home, basketball terms, looking at it, going, what's happening here? I mean, we saw here twice now, they're running this sort of set play where Curry will hold it as an isolation. They'll get a pick high, which is a pick and roll. And you see him go to the basket. Now, what happens is you see a nice little shot here from Hill. What you'll see happen is if Curry comes to the lane, you see it here again, he'll wait for the pick here, see he's calling it, and he'll go for it now. Now, if he doesn't come, he'll pull up for that shot, take a layup, or if they collapse when he goes to the lane, he'll kick it out, as we see here, a foul and a turnover goes back the other way. So they're playing a certain way, if you like, and they're going through that set, and it seems to be, again, 10, and you see 17 points to 10, LeBron with a tip back.
Nice little tip there.
And we'll see, so Airborne 19 to the better of Stone Cold Killer with Golden State to 10 in the final 40 seconds of this quarter. You see JaVale, too easy, and one man move, and he just sits there, and Thompson disappointed to see Breakaway Esports and Airborne looking on, and again, nothing No emotion from the gentleman in the room.
The concentration of these two players.
The concentration is real.
Immaculate.
As we see here, James calling for a high-low pick and roll, and you see Thompson with the roll, doesn't want it. James kicks out wide, and JR 1 foot in the 3, rattle, and it's out of there.
We were talking about that hot and cold from JR Smith at the moment.
And you just see there that extra pass, I mean, he wasn't in a proper rhythm there, wasn't set squarely for Thompson, but it was a good play out of there from Curry. And so, in one way, they're playing quite well as Golden State, but if you're Cleveland, you're just getting points done. And I'm not to say it's pretty, he's just getting it done. Like that there, it's just a one-on-one, and it's just better basketball at the moment. As JR, to your point, goes there. Long shot to end this one, halftime, 21-13. Cleveland lead this one, Airborne in control of match number 1, best of 3 here in the LPL NBA 2K tournament.
Yeah, what I find quite interesting about this, you know, the same teams that we saw in the last, you know, match between the first match we saw 2 games, but this time, you know, the other team's doing really good. Cavaliers.
That's right. I mean, and it's always interesting, which was really great when you see these tournaments. Yeah. And we will see, for everyone out there, we will see a lot of the same team, but it's how you play with those teams.
Yeah, that's right. So it comes down to the gamer and how well they utilise the players within the team and all that.
Absolutely. If we have a look at the stats here, and clearly favourites all over with Cleveland, 62% shooting from the field, very, very good on the rebounding, assists, and you can see them moving the ball there. Some steals, very good defence, and a block. So they are clearly in control of this one. 8 points for LeBron James as well. So it's an all-round performance, looking very good in control of this one, match number 1 in my opinion.
That's right. Well, what do you guys anticipate, that'll come with the next match?
Well,
the next quarter.
Everyone's killing it at this particular time. So Stone Cold Killer needs to come back with a little bit more...
Stone Cold face?
Yeah, some more mahi. Put some more mahi in.
And that's it. I mean, you know, let's get some energy with Stone Cold. Let's make sure that he gets something happening, because, look, don't get overawed with this situation. And that's where Airborne is strong, is the fact that he knows what it's like to play in these tournaments, and then he's comfortable. Stone Cold Killer can't get disrupted, can't feel pressured being here in the studio. He's just got to play his game, and right now he's not, and I feel that he's got a lot more to give. So hopefully Stone Cold can shake it back, as we see just a beautiful movement, and now that nice move. And we see here Airborne again comes off and just makes his statement as we lead into this one, the 3rd quarter. Breakaway Esports, too good. At the moment, as we see Godala moving the ball Durant, and you see their defense is really good. KD says, I don't think so. I'm going to come through and rock that rim. As we go into this one, 23-15. Nice response here. Korver on the wing, kicks it back out. And what we got here with the one-on-one with Curry, what can we do with Clarkson? He loves to put the ball up. He moves the ball. Good look. James deep into the corner pocket, and Love can't hit that one from the pocket. So we see here reset. Good movement. Korver, the drive, and looking out for the kick out. James knows he's got to get something done with 16 seconds on the shot clock. Inside to Clarkson. Back down, one-on-one with Curry. Good play. Kicks out again. Good defense from Golden State right now, making it a lot harder than it was in the first 2 quarters, Caps.
I've got to say the Cavs have, drawing the defense, kicking the ball out, and just keep on moving the ball to the open player. That's, I think, that's how basketball goes.
As we see here, Korver convert that one. What's really, you saw there, right? So we've sort of seen, hopefully, Stone Cold Killer, its first match here for him, and he started to kind of adjust. You know, you saw him there make it so much harder for him to get in and get those shots on defense. And that's what he's got to do, because you can't let Airborne get away 10, 20 points like we saw in the other matches. Otherwise, he won't be able to come back. You might as well give away the game. So I'm really impressed with his start right now. And this one, quarter number 3 with 7 on the shot clock, as Thompson responds, 8. Bang, and then here we go, coming back in, 7-point game. All they need is a stop here, Caps.
A couple of stops, there's only a couple of baskets.
So what we've got here is we see James move to the corner. Clarkson, loves it there, but he's going to be a big man. Backs in, and as he looks to drive, head down, can't quite get it done, but it's a nice spin move, drops it inside. Thompson, good foul. So again, we talk about good and bad fouls here, Caps. For you, explain the difference between what would be a good foul and a bad foul.
Well, for me, if we're playing like in real life as well, you just don't want to make any baskets easy for anyone at any particular time. Doesn't matter if it's a shot or it's a close shot or it's a three-pointer. You just want to make it as difficult as you can for every single play. And we can't give up on every play.
Green, and he looked and turned his back, and he says, hello, let's have that one.
G'day,
and respond. 4 points. That's the response we thought we wanted. And now here we go, see momentum changes as we head back down here. And if they can get a quick bucket here, we know it's going to be all in. And he loves to shoot that one. Can he get it done? Here we go, bang. Now we're into a 1-point game in the third quarter. Now we have a game, ladies and gentlemen.
This is a game.
Let's get involved. Still no emotion here from the players themselves, but for us and everyone at home, I'm sure you guys are getting excited because we have a match on our hands and it's going to be every possession counts.
That was Young. What's Young's nickname?
Young Jeezy, is that what they call him?
It's
Yeah. Oh no, sorry, Swaggy P is what they call him. Swaggy P. Sorry, as we see here, pressure back. Nice response from Cleveland. And if Swaggy gets that one, he can't get it to go. So now if you're Cleveland, you really want to take your time here and set up for a good shot. You're still up by 4, so what you don't want to do is get a turnover and let them have another possession, Camps. Break down that stock and finish with the 14 as we see another steal. And that's what we just talked about. You can't do that.
Oh, and a rake to the face.
Just to slow down. I mean, that's a foul you need to make, right? So you can get a set. You can't just let them run up. But now we've got 11 who kept it close, and Golden State will be looking to respond and keep this within a couple of points. And so it's a one-possession game. So what can Steph and Stone Cold do with a long 3? Can't get it. And James will respond and dribble it out. 28-24 at the end of the third. We've got a match, ladies and gentlemen. I can't wait.
Yay.
Stone Cold just having a look at himself there and just trying to, I guess, ponder what it's going to take to get into quarter number 4. And
what's going through his brain?
Yeah, what do you think?
What's going through his mind? What do you think he's thinking? I don't know. It's like if it was me, I'm hungry.
You're hungry right now. You're hungry. Hey.
I'm thinking the same.
I'm thinking potentially the same. But I think for them, outside of being, hungry, I think they realize that what's at stake here, right? We're talking about you lose, you go home, and that's a nice move here.
Nice.
Airborne on the ropes right now. Momentum is now swinging. You can feel that in basketball games in real life, and you can feel that right now. We've gone from, 10, 12-point game. We're now into a 2-point game, but it's actual Golden State as you see them controlling tempo. And when I say controlling tempo, Caps, we're talking about something like we've got a dunk, boom, that pumped up his team. And then we see here, no easy shots to your point earlier on, right? We've just seen it. So what can we do here if you're Cleveland as James dribbles to the top, Caps?
Oh, I'm just very, very excited here.
As we see James, the 3, and he keeps the scoreboard ticking. Airborne, just a little bit of a nod up the top right there, says, yes, I needed that one. And he did, to keep the heat away to a multi-position. And there's a foul there to slow down the game again. So we've got a bit of tactics now. So for those who are at home and thinking, what's really happening, there's a bit of a strategy happening where they're trying to slow possession, not give them anything too easy, and get a breather, so to speak. You see it again? Here's another one.
Again, a quick foul there on Livingston.
Stonecoldkiller looks a little warmer there.
Good deep pass, and Katie wants a one-on-one ISO with 2 of the best in the world, one-on-one. Kick out to Livingston, couldn't get it done, and Livingston looking for Katie again. Katie will take it on. Loving just a nice little roll and pretty play. 2-point. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is match number 1 here. Good feel-out game, but momentum will always come with you when it's a best-of-3 series. You want to walk away with a win in the first matchup, and this is Airborne versus Stonecoldkiller. As we see Airborne playing with Cleveland, leading this one by 2 against Golden State, and Stonecoldkiller, as we see Airborne get rocked at the rim.
Last of the 4 quarters. So this is going to be interesting what's going to go in. Look at the concentration on this man's face.
And he needs to. And this is where you've got to take every point. We talk about this in real basketball when you're coaching kids is 1 point matters, and that's a miss. And you don't want to make that. Now we're talking about a 1-possession game, a 3, and then you're tied up. You've got to make those ones. It's not about the last 10 seconds. Everyone thinks it is. It's about all the way through. And that's a statement play. So now we can start to feel, hopefully, a bit of momentum swing back. Here we go, as we see Curry have a dance with Hill, and what can he do as he looks, and now there's a good defensive play here. Kick out to Iggy. Iggy back in, a nice steal, and now we talk about the momentum shift. Now we've got to control yourself, get a good defensive read if you're Golden State and you're Stone Cold.
Come on, Stonecoldkiller.
What can we do here? Oh, and there's a foul there. Curry.
A bit more strategy, just slowing down the game once again.
Oh, you called the foul. As we see here, so really good stuff here as we see the inbound pass, and this is where I guess expertise comes into play. 35-28, Airborne making this little run. So what we have to see now from Stone Cold is he's got to get a bucket to just try to keep the momentum going, and as we see an inside bang, and it was not, that's exactly what he needed to keep this. You want to be within 1 or 2 possessions, particularly in the final 1 minute, because the pressure's both ways, and it's an easy swing. So do not discount any player right now, Caps.
Real quick shout out to Samsung, Logitech, and also SkyCITY for our... We've got 53 more seconds left to go. Oh, KD making a comeback.
Back to 3. Here we go. Here we go. Edge of your seat stuff now, because it's going to be who can muster, who can handle, who can do the detail and don't.
It's the pressure.
Choke. It's the pressure. Don't give it up. And this is what we want to see. Goes to James and again kicks it out. This is bad. Here we go. If you're got to take that quick bucket, and he wore a nice little dunk just to save it to 1 point. Here we go. 24-second stop clock, 34 on the clock. So, I don't know. Here we go. It's KD with just a statement. Here we go. Oh! You cannot do that. You cannot.
That was a brick.
And that is what you cannot do. What
That was
happened?
a brick.
What happened? Oh
That
my
was the
gosh.
most ugliest play I've ever seen.
I can't believe it. And that is the pressure. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. And he knows. Stone Cold Killer has given this game away. Look, he's not out of it yet, but that was crazy, Caps. What happened?
Wow. Oh, shivers. I don't know if it was a slip of the wrist. Was it a slip of the fingers? That was like one of the most ugliest players I've ever seen.
It is crazy.
Crazy.
So he makes that layup, right? And all of a sudden they're up 2. Instead, he gives it back and Cleveland get a dunk. Now look, they're not out of the game, but that was almost game over. Like
and
he could have.
KD that made that.
And it was KD, and he goes for a layup instead of a dunk, and you're 6 foot bloomin' whatever.
Yep.
You got a dunk. I think he's
7'1".
7'1", and the unicorn, man. Like just throw that thing down. Throw it
7
down.
seconds left, fourth quarter.
Okay, here we go. Green. And he makes this one, Jeff Green, with the nice little one to extend that, man. So with 38, 36, 7
Still
seconds
got
on the
7
clock.
seconds left.
4. Now, what can we do? We've got to
Okay.
obviously your natural timeout where they want to call a play. Now, if you're the coach, Caps, what are you going to do if you're Golden State versus what you're going to do with Cleveland?
Well, obviously what's going to happen is, for the guys that don't know basketball, once you make a timeout, your ball gets
Advanced up to the halfway,
up
right?
to the
Yeah.
halfway. So
that helps you from starting point of view, right? So he's going to get up there to advance, and they're going to be able to obviously try to make a shot, right? So the thing is you don't have to force this. Now, if you are down by 3, it's a one shot, right? So there's a couple of options, right? You know, you make a good shot, you go to the rack, you're good, right? But you have to get the 3 off of the 7, and see, Curry took that, and it's a rush shot. Repeat though, and here we go. Iggy. Oh! Here we go. 4-second tie game. Airborne, hand on his head. He knows he gave that run, and that is why you must box out and rebound. You cannot give them 2 shots. Stone Cold, he's got a smile on his smirk on his face.
The Stone Cold has a smile on his face.
The Stone Cold Killer is back. What an Airborne. I must admit. Okay, so there was 2 things that went wrong there. As we just see this just rim out. There was a couple of things that went wrong. For me, Caps, when you look at it, okay, you've got this option of you take a 3. He doesn't. Steph Curry steps up. Terrible shot selection. Terrible shot
Missed
selection
the first one.
because he needs a 3.
Yeah.
Then they get the rebound and they make the 3.
I know.
So it's like, if you're Airborne, you can't do that, right? You've got to make sure you rebound and get that back. So he's given this away as we head into what is exciting. Overtime. Match number 2 here in the tournament there, Caps. Wow, what a great way to start as we see who can handle the heat in the kitchen. 2 minutes of overtime, and one will be a winner.
Who's got the juice, bro? Who's got the juice?
Different lineups too, obviously a bit of fatigue as we had an OT as we see Jose
Calderon.
Calderon with a nice little in there to kick this one off with 2 points.
The first time we've seen Calderon on the court as well.
Now again, you know, at these point in time, you just got to keep playing. You can't play to think it's 2 minutes. You just got to play like what you see, like always, and don't go to isolation unless you want it, of course, and don't just try to go through there. And I think someone like Airborne, hopefully he'll respond and get back into that. But if you're Stone Cold, hey, momentum's there. Oh my gosh.
That was nice.
It was just like, close your eyes. That hurt because he just rocked the room so badly, and he just got a nice and 1. And those are the sort of plays that get your team pumped, Caps.
The Stone Cold Killer is on the comeback. He's made an incredible comeback, and so let's just hopefully he can still go to work and finish off this game.
And you saw there with a little trigger button, they've called their starters back in. So what they're going to do is now with that minute 22, they're going to bring in all the best. As KD is on a tear right now with a double pump reverse straight over the head of Cleveland and says, hey, maybe you think I'm the 2nd best player in the world, but in my mind, you know I'm number 1 right now, big dog. And that's what he just proved as we head into the bonus 44-41 with Hill. All to play for right now.
1 more minute. 1 minute and 13 seconds to go in our overtime. It's our first time.
First
Overtime.
OT in the
Yeah.
tournament. I love OT.
Yay.
OT is where it's at because the pressure is just so much bigger. As we see a nice little inbound kick out. Corver, you know that's money if he's like that, and he's going to get that. Here we go now. 1 point ball game, 10 in overtime. Match number 1. of the second matchup of the night here in LPL Studios. Curry dancing the jig. Too easy kick out. Doesn't want that. KD is on fire though at the moment. He's just gone 2 tomahawk, huge jumps. He's called for the pick. Doesn't need it. Here's another one. Oh my gosh, KD is putting on the clinic.
Big man, go to work.
KD, he's now at 18 points for the game, 72.7. It's dunk, so they're going to go to James. Another steal. It's all Golden State right now, but he's got to make these plays. We saw it in the last one. Curry, you are kidding with a pretty play, reverse it in. Caps, what do you got to do if you're airborne? How do you respond?
I think just box out and keep on rebounding.
Oh, and this is it. He's starting to fatigue and fall right now. You know, you get blocked, and it's just the momentum swing that we kept talking about. Is everything is Golden State, nothing is Cleveland. Nothing is Cleveland, and he's forcing it. He doesn't have to. He just has to make a 3, and then he's back in with a 1-point position. Still plenty of time on the clock. KD, get that rebound, and that is how you do it. I don't want to call it. I don't want to jinx it, but I'm going to say this. Golden State are walking away with this one, the first matchup of the head-to-head, in my opinion. What a crazy matchup. So, without calling the bluff for them with 15 seconds left onto this one, you know, they're going to suck this clock out and run it away. What do you have to do in match number 2 if you are now down 1-0?
Well, watching the other 2 players too is like, obviously they you never know which teams they're going to choose. They might actually just choose the same teams again because they obviously are the best 2 teams in the world. And hopefully their match play is better and they make more baskets.
As you see, no handshakes in here, so
it's just the first game. They're like, hey, look how serious these guys look.
Very serious, very serious. I love the focus, especially on Stone Cold Killer's face. He's just very intense focus. He came here to do a job, and that's to win.
He did. I mean,
He's
that's
not
the thing.
mucking
He wasn't mucking around.
Yeah.
And it was sort of like, it felt to me, the first, like we talked about just before half-time, he was a bit nervous being in here, and it kind of felt a bit. And then you've sort of seen him loosen up. We realised that, hey, we're still doing what I normally do. Just do it. And all of a sudden, bang, he gets a
and
win.
saying that, I you know, we won't discredit Airborne because he came in too. He's got a job to do. He's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders. But just, you know, the OT, I think, I don't know, I'm no expert at this. I'm no gamer, but I think the OT threw him off a little bit.
Yeah, I agree totally. And I'm just thinking, like, watching the 2 players sitting next to each other, what sort of tactics could you, oh, you know, you know, like, oh,
I think that's how you and I would play. Just stand in front of the screen.
The boys look very, you know, what can you do? What are some tactics that you can do? Like, you know, could you just, like, you know, give hey, but really just, you know?
I don't think they allow that, not on here. Maybe the way we play, but no, not today, King Kapisi. Hoi anō iti, we stay with us after the break. We have more right here on NBA 2K18.
I've been waiting for this all my life. I feel it in my veins. Push it harder, gonna climb up higher. It's like I just can't miss. I was made for this. I show the world I'm stronger. Prove it to 'em I'm a fighter. I can't help but win. I was made for this. I was made for this. I was made for this.
For the players.
Huge match. Gonna do something big. Letting his way up. And there we go again.
Flavor. Beats that move you.
No mai hoki mai I te iwi. Yes, if you've just joined us, we are playing NBA 2K18, the tournament of all tournaments. That is Stone Cold Killer versus Airborne.
As we head into this one, yes, thank you to Orani, and welcome back into all this action here in the LPL studios for what is the NBA 2K NZ 1-on-1 Championship. Now we see in match number 1, same teams, but they've swapped across the other way. So for everyone that's just new to this tournament, just tuning in, just to reiterate, if you have been following us through, they can only play the same team once. So obviously if we go to match number 3, they'll have to change. So even though we're seeing Golden State Caps up against Cleveland, they've actually changed the other way in which they'll play.
Yeah,
so now we're changing teams, but we see the same teams in Golden State and Cleveland.
Hi, my friend. In the last game, we saw Tyceno and
we saw Paki.
Paki, and they had to pick two brand new teams.
In the third.
Yeah, so they chose Houston against Boston. So once again, hopefully, after this game, we're going to see the teams choose another 2 teams also.
That's right. And so again, for everyone that is tuning in, what's at stake? Well, of course, you want bragging rights to be the best in the country at this game, but also $15,000 is in cash and prizes. So the winner will head across to the States to play with some of the best 2K players, visit an NBA game, which we would like.
But can you believe that, my friend? It's like that's the most incredible for hoopers and just for people who play this game, being able to go to a real NBA game and sit down and watch a real NBA game. I mean, like, I've been to 3. How many NBA games have you been to, my friend?
Do you know what? The thing is, I haven't been to any.
Okay.
But I've got to head over there soon. Like I was saying, because I'm a massive hooper, as we see it rim
Yes,
out here.
I
No,
know
we
you
still
are, my
can't
friend.
get it. And I want to go to a couple, especially potentially LA versus with the new look LeBron, as we see here. Get into action. A little bit slow to start, ladies and gentlemen. So obviously you hear me and Caps talking about our wishes, hopes and dreams.
Yes, hoops.
But of course, that's because at the moment we haven't seen too much. Again, maybe they've changed teams.
Down on the right, there's the shot clock.
So explain it to everyone who may not know what that actually means.
So in every position, a team would get the ball for 24 seconds, and if you do not shoot the ball within that 24 seconds, you have to hand the ball over.
And that just keeps the game flowing a little bit quicker, right? So it means that people can't just come up. There's a nice block in the lane as James called for an ISO. Now we're going to see the revenge that comes with that as KD lays it in. Now look, got to do better than that. Throw it down, big man.
I was interested in that last play when who was it? Was it when Stone Cold Killer
lost on the layup?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, everything was in Airborne's favor in that game, right? Like everything, as we see here, James starts to say, look, we're going to respond against KD. But you're right, in that last game, it was absolutely, I guess, mayhem. Everything was going in Airborne's favor.
Right.
The missed layup, the pull up 2 instead of a 3, and then he just gave the game away in OT. And again, potentially that's pressure, as we see here, another turnover. And remember, just to reiterate for everyone out there, Stone Cold Killer is playing the Cavs, and he is up 1-0 over Airborne, who is playing with the ball now in Golden State. So everything to lose right now for Airborne as he's got to come back. So 4-2. Again, big shout out to all the sponsors involved in this tournament in the form
Flavor
of
FM, Logitech, SKYCITY. That's where we, like these beautiful studios are, and PlayStation 4.
That's right. All the players are playing on the PlayStation 4 Pro. I know some people in the chat were talking, where is Xbox? Now, last year they did play on the Xbox platform. It's changed this year to be just on the PlayStation 4 Pros. And that's really to do with the fact that internationally, most of it now is played on the PlayStation. So, no hard feelings to all the Xbox community, but we've seen Paki already kick off the tournament. He was the Xbox champ last year, and now he is kicked off with a win, as we see now Green move that in. So 6-4 into this one.
Yeah, Thompson with the kiss off the glass.
So here we go. KD bumps his way down. Shimmy shake. He wants that ISO against James. It's the best 2 players in the world right now. Dancing, shimmying. 5 seconds with the ISO and getting it done. Nice block.
Get that out of here.
That's what they say. Get out.
Pump. He's pumped.
Hype. And that's important, right? They've got to try to end the quarter. Don't worry about the fact that, again, I keep saying this, at the end of the games, it's about now. It's the little 2 points that can win or lose you at the end, as we see it rim out. And Cleveland lead this one 6 points to 4.
Very slow scoring game compared to the last game.
Slow and low scoring and interesting tactics. And I think that's... again, the first quarter is interesting because in this game, they're changing teams, right?
Yeah.
So they've got to get used to a different team, so there's always that kind of feel. And so we might see it fasten up, but still, in saying that, you're dead right. It's a very low, slow first quarter in match number 2 here at LPL Studios in Stone Cold Killer.
What up, Stone Cold Killer?
Let's go get him. Look at him. He's just locked as we see quarter number 2 kick off. And remember that these are only 3-minute quarters as we progress up through the later rounds of the tournament. And the conference will be 4 and the grand final 5 minutes. But for everyone home today and tonight, it is 3 minutes per quarter.
Also, our 2 players looking very stoic at this particular time. There were a couple of smiles on there in the last game, but this one, they're looking a bit more back into the game, very focused.
Yeah, and they have to be. I mean, you know, there's a lot on the line, we keep saying. So,
a lot on the line.
And particularly if you're stone cold, you're up now, you're a good position to close this one out. Go get it done. If you're airborne, though, of course, you've got a lot of pressure. You know, new franchise and all those things going on, and you're down 1-0. You got to get this win, right? It is game number 2 is always a tricky one.
So you're saying that the spacing of the Cavs is not as good as the last game. That's what I'm noticing there. They're bunching up quite a lot.
Absolutely, and that's the thing, is we see KD now 6 points already in this one, 3 rebounds, putting on a dominant performance. And you see there, and want to talk to everyone who may just be watching from traditional TV, coming across to Twitch and online, here on Maori TV. What happens is the players can come into the game with that, they hit the button and you'll see that there's a few options there. And you'll see it go ISO or dynamic. And that's really what they want to play in real time. So all these players, again, we said at the top of the show, they know all the teams inside out and out. They know who can do what, and they want to call those plays. So if you're LeBron James, as an example, one of the best players of all time, you want to have an isolation because it's a good matchup. And that's what they're doing there. And this is the subbing part of the game.
Yeah, one of the things, too, is like, it's just strategy game, and that's the one thing that I keep on saying. Strategy has to be in these games, and obviously knowing who the players are, and knowing what the team members can do.
Oh, that was sweet. As you see KD with just a little step back, shifty through the legs, and he just fades away for an easy 2. Now that's 8-6 at the moment, and this again, very, very slow. So they're playing a very slow game, and this is very reminiscent of the actual NBA finals where the game slows down, much more like playoff pace for everyone at home, Caps.
Yeah, I definitely got to agree. From past games that we've had, and the ball movement has just been quick, just moving the ball, passing to the next player, and so on and so on. But it's sticking, the ball sticking in people's hands, and they're not moving the ball. So obviously, if you're going to move it to the open player, we're going to get better shot selection.
And Clarkson's got to hit that deep out there, and KD, as we know, has been hot at the moment. Can't get that one to run. That's his spot so far as he falls away. Nice steal from McGee, and KD, the man we're talking about, is on fire. Watch him dance here with James. He will always make the right option. We see Thompson, one of the 2 Splash brothers, and he's going to have a look. He goes to 1-on-1 with Clarkson as we see him go inside. Nice move.
Oh. Very interesting not seeing many splashes from the Splash Brothers. It's like very dry at this particular time. We need to see some more.
We need to see it rain out there on the 3.
Let it rain.
Let it rain, baby. And like you said, they're playing a very interesting game for what is normally a Golden State type thing, where when we talk about Splash Caps, we're talking to everyone that may not know what we're talking about. It's the fact that that's a 3-point shot, and when it goes in the hoop and through the net, that's a splash. And in, I guess, basketball terminology, we like to say splash when it goes in. And so you've got, it's a pretty dish and dunk by Thompson. And that splash, that whole splash thing came about because you've got 2 of the best 3-point shooters in the game on Golden State. And right now, they're not actually doing that. They're actually going inside and playing quite an inside game, as we see here. They're driving hard on Cleveland and pulling up for mid-ranges, as we see Thompson getting it done. 11-8, as we've got 27 seconds left. And quarter number 2, match number 2 of this, the LPL NBA 2K Championship, Stone Cold Killer leading 1-0 in the matchup. Can he go all the way, as we see Clarkson rattle and roll? Green with the kick out. It
makes me think that, does Airborne know what the skills of the Splash Brothers are? Because you think by utilizing the 2 best shooters, in the whole league, they'll be splashing a lot more.
That's right, as we see Cleveland down at the moment. 8 points, and it's slow. You did right. 7 points, and so with 7 seconds to go, on the shot clock, Corver, James has got to do something here, and he does. He pulls up with a little bit of a shaky shot. Not the best selection there, and good defense from Golden State to close off this. Halftime, 13-8.
Look, it looks like there's a little bit of wrist fatigue there on our friend Airborne.
Absolutely.
How well do you think the gameplay is going at the moment in the second match?
Yeah, well, for me, I look at it and I think it's slow. I mean, overall, we've seen some good games. I mean, the first matchup, different, but certainly even the first match of this matchup was a lot better, a lot more free-flowing. And I'm not sure whether it's the teams. It's interesting because I know they can play better. It's just slow out there, in my opinion.
Yeah.
As we have a look at the halftime report here at the moment. 13-8, low-scoring first half for this one, match number 2 in the event. low scoring, and the fact that his field goals are terrible in the form of 33% for Cleveland, that is that's not great. And
shocking.
And 45%, and the Warriors still not great, but they're getting it done at the moment. Rebounds sort of equal the assists. Bit of ball movement by Cleveland, but obviously not making the shots. And there's one man at the moment there, Caps, who's looking very, very good. And Kevin Durant, 10 points for the game so far. So he's looking ominous at the moment, and I think everything should go through him.
Yeah, so what do either of our competitors need to do in order to improve in this next match?
Well, for me personally, I think it's just ball movement, ball movement, ball movement. And it's you keep on watching these players and it just gets stuck in players' hands. And, you know, in real basketball, it's the same strategy. Just keep on moving the ball to the open player.
All right, as we're into the third quarter here, Cleveland up against Golden State. Golden State lead this one 13-8, and we have Airborne up against Stone Cold Killer. Stone Cold Killer up 1-0 in the matchup. Remember, Airborne loses, he goes home. That's him knocked out of the tournament. Nice little block shot to kick off this one.
I'm not going to fall for your fake, and then I'm going to block the next one.
That's right, as we see Cleveland with the response. So Stone Cold gets off to a good start to this quarter. He wants to stay in the hunt, and as we see Airborne dancing with Klay Thompson back and forward, and he looks to kick this one out to Dre on the outside. So again, Caps, your point you're making, ball movement, moving it around, making sure they're doing the right thing. Making use of the stop clock, right? We just saw that.
Well, obviously, there must be something within the game that if you shoot over someone that's trying to block you, it's more of a difficult shot. So obviously, if you're shooting and there's no one in front of you putting up their hand trying to block you, it should be a higher percentage shot.
As we see LeBron just rocketing to the rim with a nice left hand, he looks at his biceps and kisses that thing and says yes.
Hey, shout out to Samsung also. Big shout out to Samsung for is rocking with us also.
Awesome, as we see here, James dancing again at the back. This game's tight, 1 point. Oh! That's what we wanted to see. Let's wake up the crowd.
Here we go. Time to go to work.
And that's a good response here from Stone Cold. Excuse me, as Curry dances his pretty dance into the lane. And I love that. I mean, he is just so good with his handles. I mean,
ambidextrous.
And that's the thing for all the kids at home playing in real life. You got to get good with your handles and your shot, right? It's so hard to guard someone like that, and that's why Curry is so effective. Green means good. Bang! LeBron taking over right now, 17-15, and the swing is right back into Cleveland's favor. And this is the momentum we're talking about, Caps.
Yes.
Oh, there's your response. That's a splash.
Splash, splash.
Here comes the pull, and you see Stone Cold. He knew that one was the stop he needed to get. And you see, as he dances to the rim, what can he do is turnover. Nice outlet. Here we go, Curry. What's he got, one-on-one here?
I thought he was going to pull up. Oh!
Oh!
That was just like that play.
LeBron is just saying.
In the finals 2 years ago.
That was like the beautiful play from the finals 2 years ago. LeBron is taking over right now. Defensively, offensively, moving the ball. He is what he is, and that's the #1 player in the game.
Best player in the world.
As you see Thompson slow down a little bit here, 47 on the clock, 12 seconds on the shot clock. Right now, Thompson trying to find a good look. Katie's going to go at James. One-on-one, nice shimmy shake, and left-hand rolling. This is a good way to respond.
Second best player against the first best player.
Yes, I'm calling him the best. There's no way in my mind. I think that LBJ, in my opinion, is clearly the best player in the world. And hand down, as we see, sucking the clock, wanting isolation, and a foul on Curry to get that one. So Cleveland well into this one, remembering that Cleveland is played by Stone Cold, who is up 1-0, and Airborne playing with the Golden State Warriors, needing to get the win at the moment. So every possession counts in these tight ones.
So quick party, if Stone Cold Killer wins this.
Oh! Sorry to drop your cap, just a tomahawk through the lane.
I know that one.
Wow, I just couldn't believe that. Was just ridiculous, as LeBron again is just putting the team on his back, and he gets an and-1 across the whole team. Can it rock in, and they take the lead. Sorry, back to your point is, if Stone Cold win this, it's game over, and out goes Airborne of the tournament.
Out.
And that's why it's so important. Every possession right now is so important, because in a tournament like this, it's a bit different instead of a round robin. This is like NCAA for those basketball aficionados. It's basically a win, go through, lose, and you're out. So it's not about what's going to happen tomorrow, next week, as you see a nice little shot there to keep the scoreboard ticking.
It's all about now.
It's all about now, the end of the quarter, 22.
And now, it's the end of the third quarter.
End is near.
Bit of a smile there from Stone Cold.
He knows.
It's still a very close game.
And that's all you can ask for. I mean, that's the thing right now in a game is if you are either player right now, I mean, certainly if you're Stone Cold, you'll take it that you're down 2 points. That's pretty much an even game in my mind, right?
I also wonder if it is more pressure for Airborne. You know, just being a sponsor, being a sponsored player.
Well, I think, you know, the thing is it's hard to look at it in that sense as the fact that, look, yeah, there is something there. As you see Cleveland, got to make that one. As you see the big fella rock into the room and can't finish that. We've got different lineup at the moment. No starters out there for Cleveland, but the full lineup there for Golden State is rolls in. They're going to count that one.
Nan should be dunking that on the other side.
And that's a tough play because we talk about possessions, and you know now it's probably going to make it a 5-pointer as he does and rolls out. And we're going from 2 to 5. That's a 2-possession game, but that's good defense by Golden State. So you can feel the shift, you can feel the mood, and this is Airborne kind of rising to the challenge, in my opinion, saying, look, I don't want to take this to chance. I don't want to go to OT again. I certainly don't want to be in a 1-point position. So let's do it now to get this guy out the way. As we see Love kicking back to James. Nice ball movement here from the Cleveland Cavaliers, Caps, as we see LeBron James, nice little rolling. And that's 2 missed shots. Nice movement. Love should make that because he's wide open, and he does, and keeps it with a 2-point position. Better movement by Cleveland overall, Caps.
I do agree. 25 to Golden State to 23 from Cleveland.
As we see Thompson rolling, kick out, green beams,
that's
and
green
look, and that's KD.
Love the green.
Love the green. You know what's going in. As we see the extension, and this is exactly what Airborne wants to do right now. He wants to be a couple of possessions for the good. Time is tight in these games, only 3 minutes a quarter. As we see the kick out, Love should be on money, and it can't quite connect on that one. He's got to make, as we see a nice second chance. Here we go again.
Oh, no green beam.
Oh, this is another second chance. Can't get it. You've got to make that if you are Kevin Love and the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Airborne with the ball.
And here we go, Curry.
Green. Oh!
And you can call that like a rainbow when that thing goes. You can watch that thing just floating in the air.
Green rainbow.
Wow.
Let's see that again.
Let's see that again. But that's 31-23, and this is the run that you need.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Green is in.
Hey,
you see that?
okay.
Rock in.
Okay.
And that's why, because you see how it was green, and then it was sort of, it made it happen. So he's responding. This is good, because otherwise he missed that, and we're down to it's a big road to climb with a minute to go. So still well in this one. If you are Cleveland and you're a Stone Cold, here we go. Good defensive strip. Now you've got to make this count. Yes, and he's got to get a foul.
Oh!
And he did get the foul, as what he had to do.
JR, come on, mate.
And this is the sort of the strategy that comes about. He couldn't let him have a nice, easy bucket. As James looks and can't get it done, he needed that one with a minute 4 on the clock. Got to make a stop here if you're Cleveland to keep that at a 5-point and 2-possession game, as we see. Oh, here we go. Now what are we going to do here with Curry, who wants to have a dance outside?
Shoot the ball, Curry. Shoot the ball.
Get him a green. He felt
Give
hot
him a
before.
green.
But this is exactly what you want to do if you're Golden State. You've got 2 possessions. You want to make sure the clock down the bottom here is 9, 8 seconds. Run it down. As we see, not a recap.
Lolly scramble.
Oh!
Is that the dagger?
Wow,
is that the dagger?
that's the dagger.
That could be the dagger right now. Is it now an 8-point game? And you've got to fasten up for
Green.
Cleveland. Can he get it?
No.
No, and here we go. So Golden State have got to slow this thing down, and of course Cleveland have got to make sure that they put some bodies on it and foul it to stop the clock. As we move it across, KD just doing everything right if you're Golden State, and this is going to look to be going to game number 3 here. Caps.
We'll be going to Airborne, so this is looking pretty good for the second game, the third game.
As we see here, the boys are just letting it run out as they know they're going to a match number 3. So ladies and gentlemen, buckle up, because we're about to go on to match number 3 here in LPL Studios. The sudden death. What a fantastic matchup we've had so far. As we see the clock just end and the game run away.
There we go.
1 each. The score is now
All
1
right,
each.
let's give them time to recalibrate for the sudden death match between Airborne and Stone Cold Killer. We'll see you back right here after the break.
Flavor. Beats that move you.
I've been waiting for this all my life. feel it in my veins. Push it harder, gonna climb up higher. It's like I just can't miss. I was made for this. I show the world I'm stronger. Prove it to 'em I'm a fighter. I can't help but win. I was made for this. I was made for this. I was made for this.
For the players.
That's a huge match. Gotta do something big. Letting his way up. And there we go again.
No mai hoki mai te iwi. Yes, you are watching NBA 2K18 live from LPL studios right down here in Auckland City. Brought to you by Maori Television and LPL. It's time to kick into the sudden death run between Airborne and Stone Cold Killer. Here we go.
Thanks very much, Warani. Yeah, big up here, Caps. I mean, looking forward to this one. Two very different starting lineups and two very different teams in the form of the Celtics up against the Rockets. And we've just seen, for two matches back-to-back, we've seen Golden State up against Cleveland. And so for you, what are you looking forward to in this one being two different teams?
Once again, as Oreni said in the break, it is deja vu between the two. And the thing that for people that do not play all the time is that these four teams that have been picked are the top four teams of the whole league. So that's why we keep on going back and players are picking the same teams.
That's right, and so it's about how you play these teams. And just to recap and remember, this is do or die. This tournament, it's all about knockouts. So right now you've got two players in there. One of them will go through and one will go home as Ariza, the deep three. And that is the way to start for Stone Cold Killer, who will be playing out of Houston. And you will see Airborne playing out of Boston, playing with the Boston lineup. So there we have it. Just to kick off the game is 3-0. And we look at two different lineups and again, two different strategies. When you look at the two different teams and the way that they will play, for you Caps, you look at someone like Houston, very fast team that loves to shoot to three.
And also with the Celtics team is like you've got the most one of the most incredible playmakers in the whole world of Kyrie being able to make those.
Here we go.
Tatum.
As Tatum takes flight and just flushes one behind the defense. Got to get back earlier if you're Houston, though. Can't let him do that to you, otherwise it's going to get run away. As we call an ISO play here with Harden, wanting to dance with Brown as he should. And there he is.
Cook it up.
Cook it up. Alley-oop. It didn't take it. He called for the alley, which is crazy.
Yeah,
Capella just stood there and kept his eyes down, but it's still effective in the end, and they'll take the two, but it could have been a lot prettier. I'll tell you that.
That was a bit ugly, I got to say.
As we see Kyrie, some of the best handles the world has ever seen, his old uncle Drew, as he dances to the hoop and then gets there with a nice little two to keep it rolling. And so what we have is a Harden-led Houston Rockets who will like to shoot the three throughout this match up against a very tactical team who's very good defensively. As we see again, another three from deep, a nice rebound kick out. Nice ball movement from Tucker looking to kick it, doesn't take the shot as we move Ariza. That's 10 passes. This is nice movement from Houston. This is what they do to you so well. They just move the ball and take good shots, and they take them from deep and clip over a lot.
I gotta give a fair shout out to Snoopy B2, I think it's G, and Notorious God, also Kid Neezy that are watching on our Twitch.
Yeah, big shout out to all the Twitch supporters on both Twitch or, as we see, Harden with a pretty play.
Nice
and everyone
lefty.
out there on Maori Television that have come across to the first time experience it online. It's kia ora to you as well.
Kia ora, whānau.
It's great to have you guys on board, and hopefully you tune in for next week. We've got weeks of action culminating in a beautiful grand final September the 30th with the 2 best players.
Brown.
And this is the action you can see as Brown
That's a
rocks
power
the
forward
rim.
move. Big
as he
man
comes
move.
through. 3 from 3. Good start from the Celtics, but certainly the Rockets and the way they shoot the 3 is how they can extend this all the time. As Paul dancing the jig across the 2 best ball handlers out there. Oh, that is pretty as he makes it to the cup to make that 13-7. As we head up. So what we have to do is Tatum. Beautiful rookie, though. I might add, you know, as far as, I want to say beautiful, his game is so good for a rookie after what I saw in real life,
Who
right?
was Rookie of the Year last year?
It ended up going to Ben Simmons up against Donovan Mitchell,
okay,
remember? And
so-
obviously the Australian Ben Simmons, I mean, he is an amazing player, but certainly Tatum on the biggest stage really delivered too. He's just got superstar all over him. He's got a good build for it, can defend at a high level, shoot the 3. And what I'll take away from the game where it was Celtics versus Cleveland is his dunk that he put on LeBron.
Yeah, that was
I
incredible.
mean, you're a 20-year-old kid and you're getting it done. But as we headed back into the rooms in the north, and remember, this is the north matchups. We've just seen 1v8 earlier on in the day, and we saw it get done with Shakor, Paki, the reigning champion, win up against Paki, and now we're into this one with his Airborne up against Stone Cold Killer from the north as well.
Well, Stone Cold Killer on your left and Airborne on your right. And Airborne also representing the Breakers franchise.
Breakaway Esports
Shout out to the
is
Breakers.
club. Yeah, shout out to the Breakers, everyone that's watching out there. I mean, obviously they've got a great program out there, and it's wonderful to see them enter into the esports space. I think it's a great move for them.
And also a big shout out to Dylan Boucher for his last game that he played. You know, he's like been a stalwart of the Breakers team, and you know, and the Tall Blacks team as well.
Yeah, well, they've got, yeah, absolutely. Big shout out for Dylan and
Yeah, big up
what
Dylan.
he's going to do, of course, and you know, new Matt Walsh over there, who's also a big esports fan, and he's come across, and it's fantastic. I think that's awesome for them with esports. And we see it rim out. So this is it, though, for them and everyone at home who's supporting either one of these players. This is do or die, so the pressure is heightened up. As we see Houston, this is lovely ball movement at the moment as we see them getting plenty of good looks at the ball, and they're converting. As we see a steal here, moving the ball, cutting through. Nene kicks out to Ariza. Harden wanting an ISO, and he calls it. Here we go, ISO, Harden, Irving, who's got the goods, as we see a double come out from Brown. Harden will kick out of this, and he does. He finds the open man for an easy cutter. And that is what they can do to you. You talked about it earlier, he'll call the ISO. If they don't come, they're going to drop in, and you can't do that. Got to do better, and especially if you are airborne in the Celtics, you've got to make sure this doesn't run away from you. This is do or die. You are going home after this match. You cannot let this blow out, and you've got to make the relevant adjustments, Caps.
Nice little lefty there from Irving. Irving being one of our, you know, one of the best point guards in the world. What would you rate him, bro? Number 1, number 2?
I mean, look, I've got to put him right up there. Particularly with his handles, definitely the best handle I've seen is Harden. Looks to start, get cooking, can't convert. But I certainly think I haven't seen anyone with such good handles ever. I mean,
I agree.
He just got voted the #1 ball handler in the game, as we see by his peers. So he is just so hard, as you see there, just so shifty and so good.
Far out. I'm just still like consistently amazed by that player. I mean, also one cool thing is he was born in Australia.
He was. His dad played professionally down there. For everyone who's wanting to be a basketball fan or wanting to know some facts, his dad was a player down there, and he has an Australian passport, though, of course, as we know, he plays for the US men's team. As we see Harden miss another back-to-back, he's starting to cool down as we see the Celtics come back, and Tatum pulls up.
Woo!
That's nice, and that's pretty. That's what we want to see with a 1-point ball game.
Airborne.
Welcome back, Airborne, and 1 point coming into this, the final minute of the second quarter. Winner moves through the tournament, loser goes home, as we see Harden wanting to dance again with Irving at the top, gets him, and it's too easy, and hands it off, and Nene with the and Nene flexing, Dad.
Flexing. So let's see how this Frenchman can shoot free throws. I mean, he's normally quite a good shooter, Nene.
The big man, Nene. And it
and that one was a bit...
And like I always say to the young kids that I coach and everyone else out there, it's not about the final 10 seconds, it's about the little things in the tight games. And he's got to make those free throws at this time in the game.
I agree.
To see Hayward sort to move the ball and wants to see Irving, and why not? Because he's been so good. Nice kick out. Ball movement is good. Can he make it? He can't.
Didn't have the green rainbow.
All right, so now there's no stop clock left on over here. We've got just a straight 15 seconds left. So what do they want to do? They won't want to take the quick shot. They want to suck the clock as they do with 10 seconds. Probably call it isolation play or a high pick, as we see here. Nene coming to get it. No, wide open. And it's good. Well read from Houston. I love that play when they came up. They double teamed high, and then he just found the open man for a deep 3, as we see a fall away. No good. Halftime, 20-14. Not
a bad game here. Very, very exciting. Look at Well, our brother Airborne over there is looking a little bit chill, looking, I don't know, I'm not really quite sure how he's feeling.
I'm not going to predict anything.
I don't want to predict, but look, I think one thing is we've seen right now is Stone Cold is right there. He's in
right
control,
there,
and look
eh?
at the stats, and this will back exactly what I set up. He's 60%
He's
from
doing
his
really
team.
well with this team.
He's doing fantastic. His rebounds are there. They're getting second chance points, but it's that one, the assist. When you're talking about seven assists to one, you can pretty much read what's happening in the game. They're moving the ball.
Also 2 steals, quite interesting.
Defense is good, as we see it, and this is where I always say is if you see with Houston right now, is what they're calling is an isolation play coming up there, and then they move the ball, and then they hit the corner, and that's what you get from how he's playing very well with that team right now.
How well do you think Airborne's playing with the Celtics?
Yeah, he's not bad. It's not doing too bad. I'm not sure if that's going to win him the game at the end. But then obviously we've seen ebbs and
There's
times.
no wow factor going on at the moment. But hey, it's only the first half.
That's right.
We've got a second half going.
Absolutely.
Well, coming.
We've got a second half coming up. So here we go as we jump into this. Quarter number 3 of the final head-to-head matchup here in the LPL studios for match week number 1, match number 2, as we see a deep shot. And this is exactly what we want to see with the response. Don't let the game get out of control if you are Airborne. We're 3 minutes in this, right, Cabs? You can't let it blow out because you just don't have the time in these quarters, unfortunately, for the players. So you've got to be within 2 or 3 possessions, and you've got a chance at the end of the game. So good response to kick off this as we see, again, another ISO play. You see him call it as we see Anderson trying to back down Tatum. And he gets a nice spin move, kick out, good ball move. And that's what we saw in the stats, 7-1. They're moving the ball the whole time, and that's what you're going to get.
I like what you said, Rowan. Like in the last 5 games that, if you're in reach of 3 baskets, you can make a comeback. And we've seen some mean comebacks, in the last 5 games. So this game could go anyway.
Absolutely. And that's sort of the thing, right, is the fact that if you are, watching from home and with this is real basketball or 2K, you want to make sure that you don't get blown out to 10 points. There you go, Harden makes the right read as they come for the double. Look at the numbers. In the corner, Ariza moves again. And this is the right way to play with Houston and the way they do it. But again, poor turnover and execution, but everything was right. Jaylen Brown, you can't do that. Just take that to the rack. I actually think what happened is he actually had a slip of the button there, to be fair, the Airborne. Because you can't not take the dunk. He pulled up with no one in front of him. And that's what I think, unfortunately, for him. He'll be disappointed if that was the case, because that was a guaranteed 2 points for him, as we see a steal coming in. And they had to have a good foul because, again, that's the point we just saw in the reverse is he knew he was going to go to the rack. You got to foul him and stop the play. As we see here, a good read. So everything going right for Houston at the moment, and Stone Cold Killer and Airborne got to make the adjustments in the read. And here we go again. Calls the ISO, wants it. And then when the double comes, they're finding the open man and can't quite get the hit. Here we go. And that's got to be money. No, 2 looks, but good rebound. And again, Houston's got to make that one there, Caps.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But it's nice to see that when the little, what do you call the thing on the side which just keeps on popping up?
The bar?
The bar on the left that Stone Cold keeps on calling plays.
Oh, so yes, the play bar.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to do. I mean, with and he's playing it the right way. As you see everything, Uncle Drew doing what Uncle Drew does. And look at the stats right now. I mean, they're going through Drew, and that's fine. 9 points to him, 9 against the rest of the team. So they are playing through him, which is fine. But they've got to do better here. When the pick comes on that read, that's what they've got to do better. And this is, again, Houston aren't making their shots, though.
They're not.
As you see, he's just missed 4 in a row. This is tough. You've got to make those.
Well, Capella, how 79 million over 3 years?
79, over 3 million. I think it's 90 million over 4. I think was what the
a lot of money.
A lot of money. I mean, he's big Stevie, same draft. But see, this is it. As you come into the 3rd quarter, everything is actually the tempo, the way he's playing the game. As you see Tatum make a nice man move and just rocks inside to keep the game within 2. But Houston are doing everything right. But the problem they've got right now is they're not making shots. And they're not making open shots. So you watch here, they've got to call an ISO. And they're putting hard into the line. Good or bad, I'm not too sure. But at the end of the day, I want to let them roll.
Why aren't they making the shots? Is it down to fatigue, or is it...
Yeah, I think there's fatigue. Ordini, I think you're dead right. There's 2 things happening right now. The gameplay itself, there's some fatigue, as we see Harden convert to make it 4. But also what you're finding is the player themselves, fatigued by the actual players themselves. Nice pass to Big Baines to dunk.
Baines is also an Australian player too.
Got a lot of Australians out there in the league. Ben Simmons. But But you're right, it's the fatigue of the players that are playing on the controllers. So when they're open in those shots, they've got to hit the button perfectly.
They're open.
And they've got to hit the button, they don't do it. As we see, quarter number 3, this is anyone's game for everyone at home tuning in. Don't go anywhere because it is close. Yes, it's airborne.
Very close.
And stonecoldkiller just sitting there. No communication amongst one another. They know what's at stake.
And airborne's making a comeback too.
It does all come down to this, though, right? It's the mental as much as it is the physical or the application of what you know, the skills and strategies. It's actually how well you can control that mind of yours to actually think.
Absolutely, and that's the thing, is I really like what and one, that's too easy.
Cooking it up.
Start cooking, and look, he knows. I mean, and airborne, you can't let Harden one get through the lane easy and then get an and one, particularly in the fourth quarter with a 3-minute quarter. So here we go. He's guaranteed from there. Now you're under pressure already with 5 points, and now you got to respond. So here we go. Can we defend properly and move the ball? If you're the Celtics and a fan of airborne, can he get it done? So here we go again. He's just turned it over, and Harden is going to cook if you let him do this to you. Oh, nice step through, and that is, got to finish that as we see another second chance points. So, Caps, what we're seeing from Houston is actually not only are they missing shots, so that's for them to work on, but they're actually getting the rebounds.
Well, as you know, rebound is king. And, you know, just keep on rebounding. And also boxing out players. I'm not sure what the button is to box out on this particular, you know, game, but you have to box out regardless.
Absolutely. And so as you see, is what with Houston, they're playing very, very well at the moment. Good ball movement from Irving as Tatum wants to try to size up their competition. Can't drop it inside, and that's another turnover. That's 3 to start the quarter. And if you are the coach, if you are the coach or you are the player coach in the form of airborne, you are disappointed right now. You can't be doing these turnovers right now. As we call another ISO. Paul wants the high screen, doesn't need it. He goes and pulls up for a mid-range, and that's money. And there it is. And that's exactly what Houston want to do. They want to call you into an ISO, and then they want to dictate the tempo from the play. The Celtics can't come with the double. They've got to stay as a man-to-man offense right now. As Irving dances, gets blocked, and here we go. Momentum swings. Harden looking, does he take it himself? Oh, and he missed again. Houston could be up, in my opinion, Caps, by about 10 at the moment.
At least a couple more baskets.
Kyrie can't quite keep them in this one at the moment, but time is a-ticking, and airborne is on the clock right now. As we see, you've got to get a hand out. You do not want to leave that. That's poor defense right now.
1 minute and 19 seconds to go of the finals.
31-22 as Tatum dances.
Here we go.
And again,
let's go, Tatum. Here we go.
Okay, so you're okay right now if you're Houston and airborne had to respond, but you're okay letting that go through. Don't give the fouls up. And this is it. Slow the tempo down, and this is where you can get yourself in trouble if you're the Celtics. One, you don't want to give fouls away with the stop clock. You want to let them run them out. You got to rebound, though. And you can't do that. Bang, as Capella just rocks the rim and says, let me have you in your face. Is exactly what they are. Or any dead right. And he pulls up.
Okay.
Airborne is shaking his head. Not fair for him right now. I think he's given up the game he has. He's put down his controller. I think he's realizing that this is a game too far for him, unfortunately.
He's coming down to shot selection also.
Yeah, and look, I think you can see him in his body mood right now. I mean, that's a long way to go. He was pulling up. Here we go, though. Back on, and let's get it pretty. What the heck happened there? You got it. Oh, that's two mistakes. And I'm not sure whether that's trigger or the fact he's given up. I mean, that's hard to say what airborne wanted to do.
And then missing the easy layup.
Oh, this is over, ladies and gentlemen. We have got to have a winner. I want to call it earlier with stonecoldkiller rocking through, but airborne disappointing to end this one because, again, the clock's going to run out with 24 seconds. Ball movement out. Airborne will be disappointed with this showing in his very first attempt at this tournament. He could have taken those dunks. You see a nice little Tatum 3 in the corner.
15 seconds, you never know.
He's got to get over, but I think the thing is he's going to suck the clock. Airborne is what I say. Is there's 2 layups there that he didn't take the dunk, and I'm not sure whether it was the trigger for the player or whether he somehow wanted to pull up for some other play. But there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the end of our second match of the day.
Congratulations to stonecoldkiller.
How do you do? No, Cole. No doo-doo going on there. No handshake or anything, Cole. Okay, goodbye. Wow, there we go. End of game 3.
It is a lot of pressure, fams. It is a lot of pressure, you know, and also to be televised and, you know, live on Twitch.
Yeah.
It must be a lot of difference between just playing at home and then from playing, you know, in front of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people.
That's right. I mean, it's going to be big in here. And look, I really enjoyed today's matchups. I must say that. It's been amazing.
I'm still pretty excited about what just went down, eh?
Really good.
stonecoldkiller, he brought his A game. So did Airborne, but at some point, That A game turned to Z.
Someone's got to go home though as well, like
Yeah,
you said,
that's
you know,
right.
and someone was always going to win and lose these matchups.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already seen
Yeah.
Tyceno early on, everyone, like 150,000 followers, he's out. Airborne, he's playing out of, you know, the Breakers or Breakaway Esports Club,
Yeah.
he's out.
Yeah.
That's just what this tournament is, and that's what I'm kind of excited about.
Yeah.
The fact is, look, I don't want to see anyone go home, but that's the way in which we live.
And if anything, the way I saw, you know, stonecoldkiller, who we will talk to very shortly, you know, he had an incentive, more of an incentive, not just the 15K, not just the bragging rights, but, you know, it's airborne.
I want to get this guy, and he said at the
That's
start
right.
he wanted it, and he wanted Paki in this next round. He's got him, so let's see what happens.
That's right.
Stonecoldkiller, congrats on the win. You must be stone cold stoked. Now, I'm not apologizing for that one, by the way. Let's go back to game one, overtime. Tell me what was going through your head.
Oh man, I was just got to get stops there on defense. That's all there is to it. Just got to get stops. Just make good shot selection. That's pretty much it. I got the dub. Yeah, got the W. So happy. Yeah.
All right, and then also let's take us through the rest of the series. It did go to game 3. Was feeling pretty tight throughout the third game. Were you worried at any point?
Oh no, I just stayed relaxed. Like I said at the start, I stayed calm. And I knew I was going to get the dub. Yeah, so I'm happy I got the dub. Yeah.
All right, and your next match is going to be against Typical or Shaki. Do you think you're going to be able to take that one out?
Yeah, I can take him on. I'll give him a good challenge. I versed him in the seeding matches, so I reckon I got him this time. Yeah.
All right, well, again, congrats on taking out the win, and good luck in the next round.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
Stonecoldkiller right there. Nō reira kei te titiro tātou ki te rārangi mo te ika a Maui.
And then we have match number 1 and 2 of the North Island Elite 8 already unfolding today, and we see Shakor, Paki, reigning champ, moves through to take on stonecoldkiller in the next matchup. So fantastic for me. Loved every moment of those two matches, and then next week we'll see the South.
And that's exactly what stonecoldkiller wanted, before he went up against Airborne today. He said, I want Paki. So that's what we're going to have. That's what we're going to see.
It's going to be an incredible matchup, and at least he got the matchup he wanted.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be interesting next week and see who gets knocked out, and it's time to go to mahi.
Time to go to work.
Right.
Time to go to
What
mahi.
can we expect from for next week?
Well, look, I mean, I think the great thing is for week number 2, we head across to the South Island for.
That's right.
They've seen what's about to happen. You know, sometimes it's more about we're in the studio. Unfortunately for those 4, it's tough. It's week number 1. There's a lot of pressure. They've had a look now. They know the format. They know what kind of happened. They know what some of the players are playing. I think that we will see the South Island knowing a lot more, and those 4 will be a lot better for it by being the second group up, so to speak.
And for you, how did you, King Kapisi, how do you feel about today's, both match plays?
I really think that the first 4 players, the next 4 players in the North Island bracket will get, a little bit more foresight, because they can actually watch the play of these guys that have played, today, and strategize for how they're going to play them in the next, games. So that will be really interesting to be able to see what the difference is, because when South bracket plays next week, and then the guys that will play after them, they'll be able to watch their gameplay as well.
And what I think is interesting is we haven't seen any teams right yet.
Yeah.
So the one thing is you've seen the same 3 teams at the moment. So we've seen Golden State, Cleveland, Houston, and Celtic.
That's it.
So there's going to be some players that'll be a bit different.
Secretly, I was kind of hoping to see a little bit of Stephen Adams, but hey, I'm sure within the next 7 to 8 weeks, well, 7 weeks actually, from here on in, we will get to see the big man. But anyway, thank you all for joining us. We had an amazing day, amazing premiere of NBA 2K18 multi-television with LPL. Let's Play Live. Thank you at home and all across the world for joining us today. Let's make it an event to remember. Let's make magic. We will see you back here next week, same time, same place, here at NBA 2K18 in Nohora.
Ka kite.